And just like Kieran McKenna, Enzo Maresco also won promotion to the Premier League last year, but in the summer he swapped the blue of Leicester for the blue of Chelsea. Their away record is better than their home form so far. 20 points collected on the road this season, only bettered by Liverpool. 3 points tonight will help them get back closer to the league leaders, who they're currently 10 points behind. It was a Boxing Day knockout delivered by Fulham for Chelsea last time out. They lost in the 95th minute. 5 changes, and that also includes to their goalkeeper tonight. Robert Sanchez replaced by Jorgensen. In terms of the outfield, Gusto, Neto, Sancho and Jackson, the ones replaced by Disassi. Madueke, who's back from a technical decision, as Enzo Maresco classed it last time out, Felix and Nkunku. So Jorgensen is their Danish goalkeeper. He did start in the Premier League in the 5-1 win over Southampton, his only Premier League appearance today. More familiar with Conference League football for Chelsea this season. A back four of Disassi, Adara Bioyo, Colwill and Cucurella. Fernandes and Caicedo in the holding midfield roles, Caicedo being one of only 2 players to start every game for Chelsea in the Premier League this season, the other being Cole Palmer. Palmer then sits with Madueke and Felix behind Christopher Nkunku. We're almost ready for kick-off. It is Amari Hutchinson to get us underway, with Ipswich in their royal blue shirts with the thin white pinstripes, the white shorts and the blue socks to match. They're going for an early opportunity down the left-hand side, looking for the ball through to Amari Hutchinson in the penalty area, cleared away by Chelsea, who are all in white this evening. Paul Robinson.
Good start by Ipswich, straight from the kick-off. They've shown their intent, they're not afraid to go direct. Ball played back to the centre half. Luke Woofenden emerges down the left-hand side to Leith Davis. We know that he's the assist record that Leith Davis has got, and immediately they look to put bodies into the box and get crosses in, and that's an avenue that they'll look to exploit tonight, Ipswich.
Leith Davis, the only player of Ipswich to feature every Premier League minute so far this season. Ipswich from left to right in the opening 45 minutes, attacking the Sir Alf Ramsey stand, the 2-tiered stand, away to our right hand side. Chelsea from right to left, attacking the Sir Bobby Robson stand, and here they come down the far side. Their right is laid back to Axel Disassi, one of those 5 changes by Enzo Maresca, who is sat in his dugout. He was sat down in his dugout, he was for a long time during the warm-ups as well. They are also underway at Villa Park. Aston Villa against Brighton. Chris Coles is there for us this evening. Chris.
Mike, the game has stopped no sooner as it began. In the opening 10 seconds, a nasty clash of heads between Boubacar Kamara and João Pedro. Kamara's okay, but João Pedro getting attention to a nasty cut. There's plenty of blood on the shirt. Still 0-0, 2 minutes in.
Battle of the 2 out-of-form teams there at Villa Park for Chris tonight. Villa have lost 5 of the last 9. Brighton winless in 6. Here come Chelsea, looking to get back to winning ways in the penalty area, right-hand side. Shot taken on by Noni Madueke, but it hits a defender and rolls out towards the far side touchline. Back in possession with the star man of Chelsea in 2024, Cole Palmer, headed away on the edge of the Ipswich penalty area by Wes Burns. Up towards the halfway line where Delap will chase, clashes with Levi Colwill, and it's Chelsea who have a free kick.
I like the way that Ipswich have started this game. They've gone for the high press. They're putting the centre halves of Chelsea under pressure. Ball went out to Cucurella there. Wes Burns was on him as quick as a flash. Liam Delap setting the press. Broadhead on the left-hand side. But then on the flip side of that, Chelsea broke the press so easily on the turnover of possession. Ipswich committed 3-4 bodies forward with one pass. Cucurella found Fernandes. They broke the lines. They're in between and they look dangerous. Ball out to Madueke again on that right-hand side. Cuts in on his left foot. And that's what Ipswich are going to have to be careful about. If they commit too many bodies forward, Fernandes, Caicedo, finding that space in between defence, midfield, the lines that we all talk about, breaking the lines in one pass there, they're extremely dangerous.
Well, Colwill took his time getting up. He is okay. Takes the free kick for Chelsea on the halfway line, just to the left of the centre circle. 0-0 after nearly 3 minutes as João Felix tries to turn, but is challenged by Burns, who comes out with the ball and plays it down the right-hand side to Hutchinson. Delap stands at the rear of the penalty area. Still Hutchinson to the byline. Will pull it back. The shot taken on by Nathan Broadhead. He needed a cleaner connection, didn't get it, and Chelsea have managed to work it away, but that's given the Ipswich fans something to really roar about.
Well, the atmosphere inside here before the game, it was loud enough, but now with Hutchinson on that right-hand side, he's creating a lot of problems. He gets in and he cuts a really good ball back to Nathan Broadhead. 6-7 yards out on the angle of the 6-yard box, kind of scuffs his shot. It's an easy block for the defender, but again it's another show of Ipswich's intent to press high.
Liam Delap tries to control on the halfway line, hits his standing leg, and Chelsea have moved the ball forward down the middle with Cole Palmer looking for Christopher Nkunku. tied behind his feet was the ball on the edge of the penalty area, and now it's Ipswich to motor away into the centre circle. Comes Jens Kajuste, the Swedish midfielder. Here's Hutchinson out towards the right hand touchline, near side for Ipswich in this first half. Burns running up against Kukurea, 10 yards to the byline. A drifting cross that arced away from its intended target. Over the bar it goes. Chelsea goal kick. We've played 4 minutes, it's 0-0.
He's been brave tonight, Kieran McKenna. The last time he played 4 at the back at home against Newcastle, we all know what happened. They got beat by 4. Went to Arsenal, played 5 at the back. And when the team sheet came out tonight, we both looked at it and we tried to work it out, didn't we, what they were going to do. And actually he's playing the 4 at the back. Darragh O'Shea is the right back. Wes Burns has pushed on, and him and Amari Hutchinson are causing Mark Kukurea some problems down this right hand side. Chelsea have got a goal kick now, and you can see the press that Ipswich have set. They're intent on pressing high up the pitch.
Yeah, man for man. Delap and Hutchinson going for it, and it's worked with Chelsea's long clearance up towards the halfway line. And they do win a free kick. We perhaps had the biggest clue to the team sheet before we'd even seen the news earlier today. We walked past Harry Muric with a face like thunder.
He didn't look too happy when he came in the big goal. He did. He went to say hello to him, but he was head buried in his hat and scarf, head down. And then when the team sheet came in, we realised maybe he won't just been grumpy with us, he just wasn't too happy.
He's on the bench tonight. The Ipswich goalkeeper who's played 17 of their 18 previous Premier League games so far. Enzo Fernandez towards the edge of the D for Chelsea, out towards the far side for Noni Madueke. Left-footed cross into the penalty area. João Felix's header doesn't get the connection he wants. Graces the top of his hair, if anything. And then I think resulting from that, Mark Kukurea is offside. Ipswich have a free kick inside their own penalty area, 0-0.
They look slick, Chelsea, in possession. Ipswich have probably had the better start to the game. You know, the crowd have got up, the crowd have got behind them with the pressing that they've got. They've tried to play in the final third, but then Chelsea get in behind them twice with so much ease. 1-2 passes, they break the lines, they get in behind them. Madueke on that right hand side. Leif Davis is a huge threat for Ipswich going forward. He's got a great assist record. He's not afraid to bomb on, put crosses into the box, but he's got to worry about Madueke tonight and his defensive responsibilities.
His birthday tomorrow. Leif Davis turns 25 on New Year's Eve. Christian Walton, all in yellow, the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. A couple of touches with his bright orange boots and then sends it left-footed long up towards the halfway line, where Liam Delap will try and get the turn. Ipswich fans appealing that there was a pull on the shirt from Adara Bioyo there.
It was a foul. Looked to me it was a foul. Put his body up against him, Liam Delap. He's having a real tussle with the centre back, and he's good at that, Liam Delap. He's not afraid to use his body, use his strength, and that's something that Ipswich will look to for his hold-up play.
Ipswich taking on Chelsea in the Premier League for the first time since the 2001-2002 season. Chelsea took 4 points off them that year. Drew 0-0 here. And Ipswich having a penalty saved by Carlo Cudicini that afternoon. Here's Philip Jorgensen, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Bright orange outfit for him this evening at Portman Road. Clear conditions, crisp conditions. The floodlights shining down from the 4 corners of this classic old stadium, and that little mist in the air that just makes the beams of light stand out when you're stood outside the stadium or driving into the city this evening,
or walking to try and find the media entrance like some people were.
Who would be unable to find such an obvious entrance to the ground? Tucked away in a little corner. 2 text messages and a phone call to Paul Robinson later. I found my way in. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Right-footed, drifting ball out towards the far side. 0-0 at the moment. Miscontrolled by Madueke on the far side. Gives Ipswich a throw-in.
Lapse in concentration there from Madueke. Good crossfield ball by Caldwell. Madueke's in loads of space on that right-hand side, and he's been the best outlet that Chelsea have had so far in the game.
Ipswich take the throw back to their own penalty area from that far side there left. Here's Walton inside his 6-yard box under a little bit of pressure from Cole Palmer. Anywhere will do in that situation.
Looks nervy, the Ipswich goalkeeper. The times, I mean, we're only 8 minutes into the game, but the time he has had the ball at the feet, he's given away possession the 2 or 3 times that he's tried to play out. Pressed that time by Nkuku. Tiny little bit of pressure, forced the goalkeeper into another mistake with his feet.
Is that because he knows the spotlight's on him tonight with Muric replaced?
Yeah, it's a big game for both the goalkeepers. I mean, it's a long, lonely life as a number 2 goalkeeper when you're not expecting to play and you think you should be playing, and when you get given the opportunity, you know it might not be a long one. You want to show the manager what you can do and keep your place in the team.
Darragh O'Shea won the ball well in midfield. It's resulted in an Ipswich throw-in on the halfway line, which Burns takes near side the right. Sami Morsi, the Egyptian, back to captain Ipswich tonight after missing the last game through picking up 1 too many yellow cards. There's a few out there who risk a suspension if they pick up a booking tonight. The man in the middle, John Brooks, all in black, the referee. We'll have a keen eye on perhaps those as well, as long ball is played up to the halfway line again for Ipswich. Chelsea win it. Colwill just outside the centre circle, inside his own half to the near side touchline for Cucurella with that long brown hair that he's synonymous with. Back to Tosin Adarabayoyo, who's one of the two centre-backs for Chelsea tonight, midway inside his own half as he plays the ball forward though. Ipswich win it back, only temporarily. They've got themselves a throw in 10 yards inside the Chelsea half on the far side, 0-0.
Just watching this Chelsea midfield with Caicedo and Fernandes, they're the two that are charged primarily with sitting in front of this back four, protecting the back four. But actually tonight it's Caicedo out of the two who's the deeper one. And Fernandes has been given a little bit more of a free licence to go higher up the pitch. We're seeing him in behind and Cuckoo, more in that number 10 role, if you like, when Chelsea are in possession.
Forward it goes, nice play, another ball won by Ipswich on the halfway line, and it's in towards Delap, who's on the stretch, goes round the goalkeeper, who gets a touch. Penalty to Ipswich Town. He got all of the player and none of the ball, and with the spotlights on the goalkeepers tonight, the first big error is made by Philip Jorgensen. Delap stretched out a long leg to take it round him on the edge of the 6-yard box and was tripped, and referee John Brooks points to the spot.
What a pass by Leif Davis. That is an incredible defence splitting pass by the left back. Puts it right into the path of Liam Delap. In fact, it wasn't right in the path. It looked like it was just a little bit too far. But Liam Delap does brilliantly well. He slides in and he gets there before the onrushing Jorgensen. Clearly gets a touch, gets there before the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's already committed. Watching the replay now, it will be the contact that they're looking at. The goalkeeper's absolutely adamant that he hasn't touched him, but the VAR official tonight, Michael Oliver, he will be looking to see if there's been any contact. He does so well, Delap. Gets there before the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's committed. He's mid-slide when he's coming out. So it just depends on whether he's actually made contact with Delap or not.
Well, VAR is checking. Michael Oliver, as Paul Robinson said, 0-0, 10 minutes. In a month's time, we'll hear this conversation.
Listen, if he's made contact, it's a penalty. The angles that we've seen at the moment, they're from behind the goalkeeper's body, so we can't see whether he's actually made contact with Delap. But it looks like at the moment, the way the players are gearing up, it looks like the penalty's going to be given.
Yeah, Liam Delap has placed the ball down on the 12-yard spot. Philip Jorgensen has had to take his place on the line. 6 goals for Liam Delap this season, and this could be a big one to give Ipswich, who are winless at home this campaign, the lead. Delap scores! It's right down into the bottom left-hand corner. Jorgensen got the right way, but Liam Delap gives Ipswich Town the lead. It's Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0.
I love that penalty. Absolutely love the way he took that penalty. So much confidence in himself. The goalkeeper guessed right. The goalkeeper went full length. We whipped it across him down to the goalkeeper's right-hand side, just inside the post, with pace, with power. Goalkeeper guessed right, but he had no chance. It's just a really well executed penalty. Excellent start for Ipswich.
A goal here and a goal at Villa Park for Chris Coles.
And a goal for Brighton. Villa 0, Brighton 1. Villa undone with a long ball over the top. João Pedro causes chaos. Simon Adingra takes control and places into the far corner. Aston Villa 0, Brighton 1.
Thanks, Chris. There's some atmosphere here now. There'll be an even better one, perhaps, at Ali Pali for James Gregg. Latest from the World Darts Championship.
Yep, Stephen Bunting flying, averaging in and around the 100 mark. The man from St Helens making light work of Luke Woodhouse. Another set to the good. The fact it's Snakebite and not Luke Humphreys might be pumping Bunting's tyres up a bit. He leads 3 sets to 0.
Jorgensen caught under pressure there, and Chelsea have won themselves a throw-in, but maybe that penalty decision, maybe Liam Delap scoring against him, has just unsettled the Dane a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've got an atmosphere to rival Ali Pali at the moment, haven't we? It's strange to understand Ipswich's home record with the way that the crowd have been tonight, the way that the team have started. Only 4 at home, only 4 points, drawn 5, lost 4.
Here come Ipswich again with Delap firing a shot from the right of the penalty area. It just fell nicely to him. Right hand side, almost on the half volley, swung it across goal. It couldn't find the back of the net. Ipswich are feeling the momentum here.
He fancies this tonight, Liam Delap, doesn't he? By the way, that was a brilliant save by Philip Jorgensen, who's at fault for the penalty, but it's on the angle. Delap takes him by surprise, smashes it across him on the half volley. It's a good height for the goalkeeper, but it's going right across him, right into the far right-hand corner. Puts his hand out, hits the top of his hand. It's a good save by Jorgensen. That'll give him a bit of confidence.
So Chelsea on the recovery here. They trail by 1-0. 13 minutes played at a lively Portman Road. Kieran McKenna patrols his technical area. Grey quilted overcoat on tonight with the black chinos and smart shoes on. Maresco's got his longer navy quilted coat on, but his tracksuit top and bottoms on underneath that, as Chelsea try and play a long flat ball down the middle. It's comfortably connected by Christian Walton, and an Ipswich side who haven't won in the Premier League at home since 2002. They haven't beaten Chelsea here since August 1993. They have the first goal of the game, and who knows how important that could be.
That's a bit of an unfair stat, isn't it? Not one since 2002. That's one of them you can dress a stat up to prove any point, isn't it? How many of those years were they in the Premier League? That's the thing, isn't it? But no, it's a fantastic start for Ipswich. As we said, the atmosphere before the game. The one thing that I've been impressed with, the risk of repeating myself, is the pressing. They've pressed high and they've gone man for man, and we've not seen many teams do that to Chelsea. Broadhead on the left, Amari Hutchinson on the right with Wes Burns, Sam Morsey sitting at the base of it, but they've gone man for man and they've gone really high on the press. It's been high intensity, but as I said, a couple of times they've been picked off, and can they keep it going through the duration of the game?
Well, they are a third of the way through the first half. 15 minutes played. Ipswich Town 1, Chelsea 0. A Liam Delap penalty. It's giving Kieran McKenna's side the lead in this final Premier League game for both of these sides in 2024. A memorable 2024 where Ipswich are concerned that got them promotion back to the big time. Back-to-back promotions, firstly from League One to the Championship, and then the step up again back in May, where they finished runners-up in the second tier of English football to Enzo Maresca's Leicester City in the summer. He swapped the blue of Leicester for the blue of Chelsea. Some would say it's worked. Ipswich trying to get one over on him tonight as they play a ball through Nathan Broadhead out to the left-hand side, looking for Leif Davis, who might have had an opportunity to then swing it into the box. They haven't. Chelsea have got it. Here's Levi Colwill in the penalty area.
Doesn't half look sharp tonight, Liam Delap. He really fancies this. I mean, he's causing a problem everywhere he goes. He won the ball back then, turnover possession for his team. As soon as he gets the ball, Amari Hutchinson's on his outside, plays a ball to the left, and he almost finds Leif Davis. They've got Madueke running the way that he doesn't want to run.
Enzo Fernandez inside the centre circle. Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0 on BBC Radio 5 Live, our final live commentary of 2024. As Chelsea try and go down the right-hand side, looking for the through ball to Noni Madueke, who was not there at all. And it goes behind for an Ipswich goal kick.
Last one of the year for us. Oh, it's gone quick, hasn't it? New Year's Eve tomorrow. Doing anything? Anything nice?
Just a quiet few drinks.
Oh,
sensible.
I'll do my usual. I'll moan when the fireworks wake me up.
Well, we had the fireworks here. You wouldn't have missed them. We had them here before kick-off. Ipswich turned on the show, and they are putting on a show for their fans so far. They lead by 1-0. Challenging header by Dara O'Shea, who scored against Chelsea last year for Burnley in a 2-2 draw, incidentally. Now the play it goes for a Chelsea throw 10 yards inside the Ipswich half on this near side.
Trying to get a message onto the pitch there, Enzo Maresca. Pick the ball up, threw it back to Mark Cucurella. Trying to get a little bit of urgency from his players, get the ball rotating quicker, get them behind that press that Ipswich are putting on.
Colwill just scans forward on the halfway line, but then realises there isn't really an outlet for him, so it goes back to Tosin Adarabioyo. And now it's Mark Cucurella on the left-hand side, the near for Chelsea. Back to Colwill on the midway point. Cucurella infield from the left uses Enzo Fernandez. Ipswich leading this one by 1-0 as Chelsea look for their reply, but largely so far the only pressure Christian Walton's been under is when he's invited it on himself.
Yeah, they've defended okay at the moment. Ipswich kept Chelsea in front of them, which is the important thing. That's the message that Kieran McKenna will be saying to them. With Nkuku, who's got the pace to run in behind. João Felix on this left-hand side hasn't really come into the game yet. Madueke has been their only threat when they've had the ball.
João Felix to the left-hand side. There has been an early goal in the 8 o'clock kick-off in the Premier League at Old Trafford. Manchester United taking on Newcastle United. Maz Faruqi.
And what a start for the man in form. The header from Isak in the opening 4 minutes of this match. Newcastle lead here at Manchester United. Izzy Christensen. It's a great finish from a man full of confidence at the moment, Isak.
It's a wonderful bit of play from Newcastle. They just fizz the ball through the midfield. We said that would be an issue at the start of the game. They fizz it out wide to Lewis Hall. He takes a touch, he crosses it, the cross takes a minor deflection, but Isak in beyond the captain for the night, Martinez, He just heads it into the back of the net beyond Onana. Brilliant start.
The away fans to our right, absolutely bouncing. What a start for Newcastle here. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 1.
Chelsea trying to come in down the right-hand side. Ball goes out of play before Noni Madueke can pull it back. Christian Walton captures. We've got the screen to our right-hand side that's got the tweet from the Premier League Match Centre on X. It says the referee's call of a penalty was on Jorgensen on Delap, which we knew. They checked and confirmed with VAR, who deemed there was sufficient contact, Paul Robinson.
Brilliant. So this new law that the referees are then, when we see that, the referee's going to read it out. So when the new VAR instruction comes in, all that we're going to learn is what the referees sound like.
Very true. I'm quite intrigued to see what some of them sound like.
It's been nice to have a few interviews with them after games at time, wouldn't it?
Well, that's the other call, isn't it? Yeah. Can they step up after the game, perhaps?
Listen, it's a step in the right direction with the VAR. We're getting more and more the way that other sports use it. Rugby union especially, the interaction between the referee, the players and everyone in the stadium clearly knows what's going on and how they've reached the decision. We're not getting there yet, but it's a step in the right direction.
Chelsea trying to get there in terms of going goal bound, and Nkunku trips on the edge of the D as he flicked the ball to his right hand side for Cole Palmer, and that's given Chelsea a free kick. 25 yards from goal, central position, most certainly a dangerous opportunity.
Really dangerous position. Does well Nkunku, who's got his back to goal. First touch, turns, looks to get into the box, gets caught, and it's a position, it's 5-6 yards outside the box, slightly to the left hand side, slightly off centre. We quite often say it's too close. This isn't too close and it's not too far. Enzo Fernandez is looking over this, he's looking interested, as is Cole Palmer there in his bright orange boots.
They've definitely shifted that ball back a yard or so and slightly to the left to give them that slightly advantageous angle. Either Enzo Fernandez with number 8 on his back, or Cole Palmer in the cream white shirts of Chelsea, who trailed by a goal to nil. 20 minutes played at Portman Road, a Chelsea side that have only lost 3 times away from home in 2024. 2 of those came at Anfield and the other one at the Emirates. Tough places to go, and Ipswich Town, who've not made Portman Road a fortress in the Premier League, are trying to keep Chelsea out here. 1 of 3 for this free kick. It looks like Cole Palmer is taken quickly to Enzo Fernandez, then Palmer off the post, and then it rebounds and it needs Walton with a double save. It was Nkunku looking to pounce at the second attempt. Chelsea almost caught Ipswich unawares there, and Cole Palmer left-footed strike, quick 1-2 with Enzo Fernandez, hits the base of the left-hand frame, bounces out, and Nkunku sliding in, and Walton saves the ball pretty much back in his own direction.
It's a brilliantly worked free kick between Fernandez and Cole Palmer. Goalkeeper's got his wall wrong. There is no way in the world that Cole Palmer should be allowed to bend the ball round that side of the goalkeeper's wall. Should be further over. It's a lovely work free kick into Fernandez really quickly. Cole Palmer, it goes around the wall at waist height, hits the goalkeeper's near post. The goalkeeper's scrambling after it. Fortunately for him, the rebound falls straight into his arms.
So Ipswich still lead by a goal to nil, but Chelsea have just hit the frame of the goal, and certainly the closest they've come.
He got his wall all wrong there, Christian Walton. We're sat directly in line with where the free kick was, and he gave Cole Palmer too much space. I know they moved the ball 2 yards by playing the 1-2, but still, as a goalkeeper, you put a man that's level with a post and another one outside that position to stop somebody doing exactly what Cole Palmer's just done there.
Goalkeepers under the spotlight tonight. If you missed the team news before kick-off, both managers, Kieran McKenna and Enzo Maresco, changed their goalkeepers from the previous game. So Ipswich lead here by a goal to nil, and it's Chelsea's goalkeeper that gave away the penalty that Liam Delap scored from at the midway point of the first half. Let's check in at Villa Park, where Brighton were ahead the last we heard, Chris Coles.
And they still are, with 23 minutes played. Villa 0, Brighton 1. Villa have lost their centre-back Pau Torres. He limped off the field with what looked like a bad ankle injury. Very carefully helped down the tunnel. Tyrone Mings on in his place. 23 minutes in, Villa 0, Brighton 1.
Ipswich win a free kick midway inside their own half with Liam Delap midway inside the Chelsea half with Liam Delap pulled back. Let's check back in at the darts. First result of the evening session, James Gregg.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. The Bullet has fired himself through to the quarter-finals of the World Darts Championship. It does not get more comprehensive than what we've just seen from Stephen Bunting. 4-0, averaging a shade under 100, picking the doubles out with ease. He's got Peter Wright in the last 8, and up next, Jeff de Graaf, the man who knocked out Gary Anderson, against Michael van Gerwen.
Thanks, James. Palmer swings it in from the right-hand side all the way through and into the roof of the net. by João Felix. Back in the starting 11 for Chelsea this evening. Lovely delivery in by Cole Palmer. Who else, where Chelsea are concerned with goals this season? But Felix from close range gets the touch. The ball flies up onto the roof of the net, and Chelsea do have their equaliser. Ipswich 1, Chelsea 1.
He's looking nervously across at the linesman, João Felix, when this goes in, and rightly he may do as well. Looking at the replay now, it's going to be very, very tight. It looks to me like he's just straight offside. It's a beautiful move again by Chelsea. Madueke this time breaking through the middle of the park. Cole Palmer runs into Madueke's position on the right hand side, doesn't even think, cuts back on his left foot, and he swings the most beautiful ball across the Ipswich Town box. Far post, João Felix, he shouldn't be offside because he's looking across the line. I think he's going to be offside, but he shouldn't be. He can't be. He's looking across the line. If he's straight offside, Enzo Maresca will be going absolutely apoplectic at him because he's looking across the line. It's a beautiful ball by Cole Palmer, and it's a lovely finish, but I think he's offside, Mike.
Well, again, in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, we'll hear this conversation between the referee and the officials. It'll be played across the stadiums as we wait for John Brooks to get the signal one way or the other from Michael Oliver. It is João Felix on the left of the penalty area. The ball floated in from the right by Cole Palmer. The question is there an Ipswich Town defender who's got his elbow raised? Is that playing João Felix onside?
Well, to give you a picture of what we're seeing a picture that to the naked eye it looks like he's half a body offside, but actually now we're seeing Michael Oliver in the VAR hub. He's looking at it. They're going to put the lines in it. We've not seen the lines yet. We've got a view of Enzo Maresca sat on the dugout below us. How dugouts have changed. Every seat's got an iPad in front of it. The whole staff, they're all sat there making their own decisions. To the naked eye, you're looking at it going, he's offside, but actually the length of time that this decision's taken tells you how close it is.
There will be lines of fractional margins being drawn. The freeze frame of Cole Palmer, 25 yards from goal, coming in from the right hand side, left-footed delivery is the stop motion picture that we get to see. Currently the angles from behind the goal, I mean, in terms of line in play, that's not going to tell us anything, but whatever Michael Oliver's discussion is at the moment, that's the picture he wants to see.
It's gone strangely quiet, hasn't it, inside here? Both managers stood there, Enzo Maresca talking to the fourth official.
There'll be the classic debate, won't there? If it's taking this long, the decision should stand.
It's going to be very, very close. I mean, we've not seen the lines yet, have we? There you go. No goal.
John Brooks signals, drawing an imaginary line across the pitch to indicate offside, and it's Ipswich fans who cheer louder now because João Felix's goal from close range is chalked off, and it means after 26 minutes Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0.
He did look offside. I mean, it was very, very close, and as you can see, the length of time it took, it did look offside to the naked eye, but that's just a warning for Ipswich because it was such a good move. Madueke into Cole Palmer within 2 passes. He was putting the ball across the box straight into the path of João Felix, and as I said in the analysis, he shouldn't be offside. He's at the back post, he's looking all the way across the line of defenders. There's 4 Ipswich defenders there. He should not be offside.
Hutchinson's gone really late on Cucurella on this near side touchline. The Chelsea left back midway inside his own half is curled up in a ball. And decisions here for the linesman who's right in front of it to think about. And whilst Cucurella receives this treatment, we will head to Old Trafford. Manchester United, Newcastle United, watched by Maz Faruqi.
And Newcastle, since they scored, seeing much of the better of the game at the moment here. Isak still getting forward, Hall as well, and Gordon as well. At the moment, Izzy Christensen has... Gordon just puts it wide. Manchester United at 6s and 7s.
I couldn't put it better myself, Maz. They look lost out there. Newcastle completely dominant. Tonali in the midfield for Newcastle. He has got time and space. Every single time he gets on the ball, he's just looking to fizz passes out wide to Gordon, who's been excellent. He's got the better of Mazraoui on this left-hand side for Newcastle, but it's just crosses into the box from Newcastle. United dropping off defending, chance after chance so far for Newcastle.
All the noise coming from the Geordies to our right at the moment. 14 minutes played here. That Alexander Isak goal, that header in the early stages, the different. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 1.
It's a Newcastle side that have won their last 4 as well under Eddie Howe. Positive start for them. Manchester United 5 defeats in their last 7 prior to tonight. 1-0 Ipswich here though. Another defeat over the Christmas period as it stands for Chelsea, who lost to Fulham on Boxing Day. The away side in possession at the moment, into the centre circle with Tosin Adara Bayoyo. who is one of the only Chelsea players out there with a history of playing Ipswich. In his West Brom loan days when he was at Manchester City, he played Ipswich twice, won one, including one here at Portman Road, and drew the other. But with such a long gap between these two sides having last faced each other, not only in the league but also in the FA Cup, that was back in 2011. Chelsea won 7-0 that day. There are very few that can claim a connection between both sides. Here come Chelsea down the right hand side. Oli Madueke's got round the back of his man. He's into the penalty area here, edge of the D, lays it back, shot from João Felix, clatters into a defender, then Cucurella, left footed, hammers it wide of the right hand post. It was Luke Wolfenden, the man down in the penalty area with the initial shot from João Felix. Ball then fell to Cucurella, but he couldn't steer it on target. 1-0 Ipswich.
Madueke again down that right hand side, but what a pass by Enzo Fernandez. It's a beautiful ball in behind the fullback. Madueke makes his run to the right hand side. You think for all the world he's going to go on the outside. He gets eye contact with Fernandez. Fernandez slips the ball inside the fullback. Madueke times his run perfectly, comes to the edge of the box, lays it across to João Felix, smashes his shot straight at Wolfenden, comes out to Cucurella, takes it on the half volley, harmlessly wide from Cucurella, but again another sweeping move by this Chelsea team.
Yeah, smacked Wolfenden clean in the head, that initial shot from João Felix. Wolfenden was behind another defender, I think he saw it late. He's then headed it back to his goalkeeper now, and Christian Walton, who goes long. Liam Delap with a heavy chest control. There's a stooping Axel Disassi there, but Ipswich have the ball on the far side touchline. Their left, played back to Jacob Greaves with his long brown hair tied back with a Alice band. It's another long clearance from Christian Walton away from his 18-yard box, away to our left-hand side. Ipswich the home side, left to right in the opening 45 minutes. We've had half an hour of that. Here's Levi Colwill for Chelsea just outside the centre circle in his own half.
You do feel that Chelsea are growing into this game as well as Ipswich started. We questioned whether they'd be able to keep up that intensity. Listen, they're playing against a good Chelsea side who are going to have spells in the game of dominance like this, but Ipswich struggling to get the ball.
João Felix midway inside the Ipswich half, just pulls over to the left hand side slightly. Cucurella stands by the touchline, getting the boost for a feigned injury a little bit early. You were having none of it, Paul Robinson?
No, rightly so as well. Booing him rightly so. I mean, Hutchinson, he went to win the ball. Cucurella jumped in the air like he caught a really bad one off Hutchinson. You watch the replay, he was nowhere near him.
Chelsea forward, Felix tries to flick it round the outside of Dara O'Shea.
No, that one he
yellow card.
No, that one he was near him. That was quite a tough tackle by O'Shea on João Felix. Real clever play by João Felix. As soon as it comes into him, just turns it round the corner. O'Shea comes clattered into him and picks up the booking.
Yeah, that was late from the Irishman. Felix, clever, knew where the pressure was coming from, quickly disposed of the ball as O'Shea disposed of his man. Enzo Maresca here having a conversation with...
He's on the pitch.
He is on the pitch. And the fourth official has just come over to remind him of his boundaries in the technical area. Darren Bond having a word with Levi Colwill. That's from the school of Pep Guardiola. I've seen Pep do that before.
Absolutely, yeah.
Enzo Maresca, who was the assistant to Pep Guardiola for a year or two at Manchester City. He was also the academy manager at Manchester City and had Liam Delap as a player. And this week has said the Ipswich forward is going to be of use to England. Right now, at the other end, it's a Chelsea free kick, which Palmer left-footed swings in, headed away out to the far side by Jens Kayuste, and it's gone out for a Chelsea throw, level with the corner of the penalty area, out on the far side. Ipswich still leading this one by a goal to nil.
A surprisingly poor delivery, a rare poor delivery, a collector's item from Cole Palmer. Opportunity to put the ball in the box, but he didn't.
5 Live Sport live from Portman Road as Felix goes in for the challenge, and then Sammy Morsey emerges with the ball. Seemed a bit 50-50, and I get why Ipswich fans aren't happy with that. There's been a second goal at Old Trafford. Maz Faruqi.
Another header, another goal for Newcastle. Joel Linton this time with the finish, past Andre Onana. Great cross on the left from Newcastle, and it's gone from bad to worse for Manchester United. Izzy Christensen.
Yeah, it's deja vu again. Across from the left hand side, work through midfield, through the thirds by Newcastle again. I'm going to say it, Casemiro and Eriksen are having a torrid time in that midfield. They're just playing through them, 1-2s. It's like a training session. And Gordon just works it wide, gets one-on-one with Mazraoui, cuts onto his right, fizzes it into a really good area, and Joe Linton, the power as he arrives in. He just tumbles over Martinez and heads into the back of the net. It's another brilliant goal for Newcastle, and so poor from United.
And another instance where Gordon has got the better of Mazraoui, and Ruben Amorim is just shaking his head as he stalks his technical area. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2, only 20 minutes played.
Maz, thank you. That might be a topic for Maz tomorrow. She's with you 7 till 8 on 5 Live Sport, along with Nigel Reo-Coker and Don Hutchinson, to reflect on the latest Premier League games and results, plus a look ahead to 2025, with it being New Year's Eve. Our next live commentary from the Premier League is on New Year's Day, 5:15 kick-off. Brentford against Arsenal in West London. Colwell, left-footed, swings it in, and it catches Madueke, who was just, I think, if anything, trying to keep it in play. Oh, Ipswich's clearance is poor. It's Caicedo, flashed with the left foot, edge of the penalty area. It was always looking to bend high and wide, and Ipswich survive another scare of their own doing.
It's coming, isn't it? You just get the feeling that Chelsea, they keep knocking at the door. They've had that goal disallowed. They're moving the ball across the midfield really quickly, really well. Ipswich is suffering at the moment. Ball across to the far post, and actually Jacob Greaves does really well just by sliding in. He inadvertently puts off Madueke. Ball comes to Caicedo on the edge of the box, gets his shot wrong, slices it. But Chelsea dominating at the moment. Ipswich are going through a spell in the game where they're having to suffer.
10 minutes to half time. Ipswich trying to double their lead, come down the left hand side. Amari Hutchinson can't keep it in play. The ball was always bending away from him as it ran down the white paint. We have a penalty at Villa Park for Chris Coles.
Penalty for Villa, opportunity to equalise. Ollie Watkins standing over it, back in the team and back in the goals. Into the bottom right hand corner, pressure penalty from Watkins, and he took it really well. Aston Villa 1, Brighton 1.
7 goals in his last 8 games against Brighton for Ollie Watkins. No John Duran tonight. He was serving a 3-match suspension for a questionable red card he picked up at Newcastle on Boxing Day.
You were there, was it? Was it questionable? You were there?
I can see why the red was given.
What did Pat think?
Pat Nevin thought otherwise. Players Union. Here comes João Felix for Chelsea, trying to get level. Low right-footed shot, looking for the bottom corner, but it was a comfortable save in the end for Christian Walton.
Weak by João Felix at the edge of the box. Space opens up for him. Just see him, he opens his body up, looks to curl it into the bottom left-hand corner. Easy save for the goalkeeper, but again, another attempt on target from Chelsea.
Palmer to Felix that time on the assist. Good link up between those two in this first half. It's another lofted ball away by Christian Walton that just drops to Marc Cucurella, although with the boos from the Ipswich Town fans, I don't think you need me to tell you who controlled the ball for Chelsea. 36 minutes played. It is Liam Delap's penalty that still separates these two sides on 5 Live Sport. Felix trying to get down the middle. Sliding interception comes from Sammy Morsey, pushes it out towards this near side. It's hurried a little bit by Ipswich Town, but emerging with it from the edge of the centre circle is Nathan Broadhead. Options to his left. One of them is Liam Delap, who just tries to get it out of his body, and then a miscommunication between him and Leif Davies. He thought the left back was coming behind him to get a better run on the ball, and it's allowed Chelsea in to clear it away.
Does really well, Amari Hutchinson there in the midfield. And Liam Delap, he times his run, he pulls away from his centre half, looking to pull out to that left hand side, but inadvertently goes straight into Leif Davies' space.
Chelsea instantly try and get the ball up the other end of the pitch to find their equaliser. 1-0 down. Levi Colwell, left-footed, short pass out towards the near side. Cucurella instantly back to Colwell again. Here's Caicedo, one of 2 Chelsea players to have played and started every game in the Premier League this season. Cole Palmer the other, who stands just ahead of him to his right hand side. Enzo Fernandez out towards the far side touchline. Here's Noni Madueke, left-footed cross that is headed down and away by Jacob Greaves, one of the big summer signings for Ipswich Town in the heart of that defence. Now Tosin, Adara Bioyo, back to Levi Colwell. Hutchinson, the ex-Chelsea player, goes to close him down. Now here's Marc Cucurella. Caicedo just emerging into a little bit of space onto the edge of the penalty area. João Felix takes over, looking for the layoff that never quite came. Good pressurising defending from Ipswich, who are trying to break away with Nathan Broadhead, who sends one over the top. Looking for Liam Delap, who's all on his own. Right corner of the penalty area. Needs support. Might go alone, Liam Delap. Fires it in at the near post, and it is palmed behind and around and away for a corner by Philip Jorgensen.
That's another good save by the Chelsea goalkeeper. But Ipswich this time turned defence into attack very, very quickly. Turnover of possession Broadhead, I think it is, puts a ball over the top to Liam Delap. And as you said, Mike, he's all on his own. He's got no options. The only option he's got is to run into that Chelsea 18-yard box, try and get a shot. And does he do that? And doesn't he do it well on the angle? Smashes it into the Jorgensen's near post. Goalkeeper dives, puts a solid left hand on it. Ipswich get a corner and a little bit of respite.
It's been a while since the ball was at this end of the field for Ipswich Town, away to our right-hand side in front of the Sir Alf Ramsey two-tiered stand. Corner prepared to be taken by Leif Davis, so expect a left-footed in-swinging delivery. In at the near post, and it goes, flicked on header. Then the second shot comes from Dara O'Shea. Players go down in the box. It's a push from Jacob Greaves on Moises Caicedo, and it's going to be a Chelsea free kick.
It was a really poor corner that turned out to be really nearly very good. Leif Davis didn't get any air on it. It came in just above knee height, but Nathan Broadhead at the near post somehow managed to almost lay on the floor and get a flick on off the floor, and it went across the Chelsea 6-yard box. Nearly caused them a problem.
Into the 40th minute of the game. Ipswich Town 1, Chelsea 0 in the Premier League. Elsewhere, Aston Villa 1-1 with Brighton at Villa Park. Manchester United 2 goals down at home to Newcastle. Chelsea here have a throw in. Mark Cucurella at the heart of a little bit of controversy once again, throwing 15 yards inside Chelsea's own half, all in that creamy white colour. And Chelsea players this evening, their change stripped from their usual blue, and they are right to left in the closing stages of the first 45 minutes. Here's Enzo Fernandez just away from the edge of the centre circle. It's then stroked across that middle part of the pitch, and Cole Palmer has a look forward, but instead flicks it to his left-hand side for Levi Colwill. A couple of 1-2s between him and Enzo Fernandez, who gets the call that he can turn to look forward. Instead plays it back to Tosin Adarabayoyo, back to Enzo Fernandez in the middle of the Ipswich half. Left-hand side for Levi Colwill. He's got Mark Cucurella further over. He's level with the left corner of the 18-yard box. And Kunku, who's dropped deep to help this little passage of play, means he's taken away from the penalty area for now. Madueke, half a step over from him, laid back to Disassi. He's getting more game time in the Conference League than the Premier League this season, perhaps. He's cross in, headed away by Jacob Greaves. It's back towards the centre circle for Tosin Adarabayoyo. Good pressure from Liam Delap, forced him back to Jorgensen.
It's a little bit pedestrian-like at times for Chelsea. They're that comfortable in possession. Nobody wants to be that one that makes the final decision to put the ball at risk, to try and play that killer pass that breaks the defence. So the possession's been too easy at times for them.
Space here for João Felix. It opens up, closed down as he runs centrally. Here's Cucurella on the left-hand side. It's another pull across. It is laid back for the shot of Enzo Fernandez, almost on the penalty spot. Ipswich throw bodies at it. Claim that in the end Jacob Greaves was downed, and he was. Referee John Brooks agrees it's going to be an Ipswich free kick inside their own penalty area.
It's a brilliant touch in the middle of the box there from a Chelsea striker. It was Madueke and Nkunku. I'm just looking at the replay. Mark Cucurella fires it across the box, and it's Nkunku. He's got such good awareness. He just opens his body up. He's got his back to goal almost. Turns around and he lays it with the softest of touches into Enzo Fernandez's path. His shot gets blocked in the end. Such a good touch in the penalty box.
Enzo Fernandez wasn't having that foul, despite what John Brooks thinks and what was awarded. 3 minutes to half-time. Ipswich Town 1, Chelsea 0, plus what's ever added on by the officials. Not too many stoppages in terms of injuries, but we've had a couple of VAR checks. One for the penalty, of which Ipswich Town scored from, and one that ruled out a João Felix goal. Header from the near side touchline from Wes Burns. It's a Chelsea player, goes out of play for an Ipswich Town throw-in. Burns tried to gain a few vital yards down the touchline. He's since given up on that idea and allows Dara O'Shea to take control. Enzo Maresca, hands in pockets. 1-1, both games finished between McKenna and Maresca last year. Ipswich Town scored late in both of those games. It is Chelsea and Maresca now chasing an equaliser in this very fixture. Back to Adarabayoyo on the edge of his own penalty area, central position for the Chelsea centre-back, the former Manchester City player. Plays a 1-2, gets it back, just guides the ball so calmly past Liam Delap, who started a mini press. Cole Palmer's tracked back into his own half to try and help Chelsea get something before the break.
They want the half-time whistle, Ipswich. Kieran McKenna's in the edge of his technical area here, trying to get messages onto the pitch. Some game management and the throw-in trying to take a little bit of time. entering the 44th minute. It's vital importance for Ipswich to get to half-time with a clean sheet intact, and that's the message he's trying to get onto his players now.
Less than 2 minutes to survive of normal time at the end of this first half for Ipswich, who lead by a goal to nil. An Ipswich side that haven't won at home all season. Only 4 times has there been longer winless runs from the start of a season at home for a Premier League side. Sunderland way out in front, 18. They only won their final game of the season at home, which is remarkable. Crystal Palace managed 17, West Ham 12, Brighton 10. They're all longer records than Ipswich, who tonight are playing their 10th home Premier League game of the season. Long ball by Chelsea down the middle. Noni Madueke tries to watch it drop over his shoulder. Ipswich between Davis and Greaves mop it up. Marshall Madueke out the game. The ball runs over for a goal kick. Of those teams, Sunderland, Palace, West Ham and Brighton, with those long winless home records, only Brighton have survived. Ipswich know they're going to have to start picking up points from home if they want Premier League survival.
And it doesn't get any easier for them, does it? I mean, every game in the Premier League we know is difficult, but 8 of the next league opponents are chasing either the title or the top 4. Only Southampton in the next 8 games are not in the top echelons of the table. So for the way that they played at Arsenal and the way that they've started the game tonight, there's a lot of positives that you can take into those difficult fixtures.
Certainly is. Who are you having in the title race, by the way?
It's Liverpool's to lose, isn't it? Surely at the moment. I mean, you're not ruling out Chelsea the way that they're playing. I mean, they're not, obviously they're losing here tonight, but they're not going away, and I think Arsenal will come back into it as well.
Chelsea 10 points behind Liverpool before the start of play tonight. Long ball over the top, looking for Hutchinson, and coming in as well was Liam Delap. Nothing given by the referee. And what's given by the 4th official is 5 minutes of added time.
Just clumsy that by Caldwell, I think. Liam Delap again. He's an ever willing runner. Gets in behind, and it was just a clumsy challenge by Caldwell.
Intercepted, or was it? No, not in the end by Jens Kajuste. Never had the ball under control. Chelsea coming forward. We're going to Old Trafford in a minute. Here's Fernandez into João Felix. The square layoff for Cole Palmer. Needs a palm at the goalkeeper, Christian Walton, over the top. That's a big save for the Ipswich Town goalkeeper.
That's a massive save as we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half. Cole Palmer wins possession for his team in the midfield. Couple of passes interchanged. João Felix lays it back to Cole Palmer on the edge of the box. It's a beautiful pass into Cole Palmer. Takes it first time with his left instep. Goalkeeper Walton dives to his right with his top left hand, tips it onto the crossbar, makes a vital save.
So important for Ipswich if they're to hold on and go into the break 1-0 up. Christian Walton, his first Premier League game since the opening one of the season at home to Liverpool. Back in the side, replacing Harry Muric, and he's perhaps proven why with that save. There's a little tussle in the penalty area before the corner. So the referee's got a little bit of sorting out to do here.
I don't want to put the commentator's curse on it. I hate doing it. But so often when you're a goalkeeper and you make a save like that, do they score from the resulting corner? It's absolutely heartbreaking. That was a good save by the goalkeeper. That'll do him the world of good. Good top-handed save. There's a lot of discussion whether it was you go with the right hand, but actually if you go with the top hand, you're able to propel yourself a little bit more, get more height on it. Really important save by Christian Walton.
Disassi and Burns that have the little coming together. Just seen a replay of that. Long wait here for Christian Walton, who stands with his feet planted on the ground a yard outside his goal line in the middle of the 6-yard box. It's a deep corner with a header that's headed back centrally, and then the flag goes up on the far side anyway to give Ipswich Town a free kick. It was a corner that swung all the way past the back post onto the byline, and in the aftermath the flag's gone up.
It did. It just went straight out, Mike, as you say. Enzo Fernandez on this left-hand side, right-footed in-swinger, goes up and over everybody. He was aiming for Nkunku at the far post. It just surpassed everybody and went out for a goal kick.
The official on that far side had a clear vision of it. Let's head to Old Trafford, shall we? Latest on perhaps another shot for Manchester United, Mas Faruqi.
Best opportunity by some distance in the last few seconds for Hoyland. The shot from the left of the area, just bobbling wide at the right post across the face of goal. But Newcastle getting forward again a couple of minutes ago. Tonali hit the left post. Isak had the ball in the back of the net but was offside. The flag was raised after his shot from a tight angle from the left. But this Manchester United performance is summed up with the fact that Ruben Amorim has made a substitution half an hour in. Kobbie Mainoo on for Xerxes.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, a lot, and Ruben Amorim is not a happy man at all, and I did start to wonder whether he would be emotional enough to make a change, because he could have taken any one of Xerxes, Casemiro or Eriksson off. He opted for Xerxes. Xerxes took his coat off the bench and he just walked straight down the tunnel. An interesting reception from the fans, to say the least.
Newcastle in complete control, in truth. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2, 10 minutes to go to half time.
Thanks, Maz. Thanks, Izzy. Plenty more to come at half time of this game. Your 5 Live commentary. Final one of 2024. Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0. 5 minutes of added time was shown. We've had 3.5 of those. Here's Colwill for Chelsea, who, if they score now, will just shatter Ipswich's hearts. They've defended largely well, and with sloppy play like that from Chelsea, they'll be happy to take that all day long. They'll take their time over this goal kick as a result of that poor pass from the visitors. Let's go back to Villa Park. Chris Coles.
We'll see your 5 minutes, Mike, and raise you 12 minutes of added on time at the end of this first half. João Pedro's cut took a good 5 minutes to sort. Pau Torres' injury likewise, and we've had 2 very lengthy VAR checks. So 49 minutes, but we're going to be playing to 57. Villa 1, Brighton 1.
Settling, Chris. You may as well spend New Year in Birmingham at that rate, I think.
He's earning his money tonight, Colsey.
Is João Felix for Chelsea. Ball flew up into the air from Enzo Fernandez as he caught Jens Kajuste in the aftermath of that. Ipswich hack it long down the middle. Delap will chase. Adara Bioyo's got a decision to make here. It's a little cushion back to his goalkeeper in Jorgensen, and he just pushes it out towards this near side for Levi Colwill.
He's a nuisance, Liam Delap, a real nuisance. Constantly running. He's got a great engine. Puts himself in positions where he just annoys centre-halves. Gets on the shoulder and he's always there.
Chelsea down the right, the far side. Ipswich have collected that with Jens Kajuste, then tries to send it back towards the halfway line. Another miscommunication involving Leif Davis has led Chelsea to get the ball back. Is there one final push from them as we hit the 5 minute mark of added time that we were shown? It is only a minimum. There might be one last chance. Palmer, Enzo Fernandez scooping, ball in towards João Felix, whose header is way off target. And the half-time whistle goes. And it is Ipswich Town who take the lead at the break. They haven't won at home all season, but they're in front after the first 45 minutes. The penalty of Liam Delap dispatched into the bottom left-hand corner. VAR, in a day where it's made headlines for what's to come in the new year, centre of attention in this first half as well. Initially allowing the penalty of Liam Delap with a foul from the Chelsea goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen, and then later has ruled out a goal by João Felix, who just advanced of the defence a little too soon. It means at the break, it is Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0. They may have held on at the end, but that's going to be a real positive half-time team talk from Kieran McKenna. I
think both managers will be pleased, Mike, the way that their teams have played in this first half. Kieran McKenna especially, where his team started, the energy, the high press, the willing runningness of Liam Delap. Amari Hutchinson and Wes Burns down the right-hand side, they've caused problems. But as the game's gone, Chelsea have grown into this game. And you just had a feeling they started taking over. You look at the possession, Chelsea have dominated the possession. They've dominated the opportunities. And going forward, Madueke's been a real threat. There's definitely more goals to come from an Ipswich Town point of view. It's going to be a long second half if it ends the way the first did.
So Ipswich Town, the tractor boys, lead at the break. They just need to plough on in the second half, Kelly.
Thank you very much for that, Mike Minay and Paul Robinson, with jokes they got out a Christmas cracker on 5 Live for you this evening. Let's head to Old Trafford, where Maz Faruqi and Izzy Christensen are watching Manchester United and Newcastle.
And 38 minutes played here, still Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 2. The 2 headed goals from first Isak in the opening minutes and then Joel Linton, and the body language of Ruben Amorim tells us everything you need to know about this Manchester United performance so far in this match. He's pacing his technical error, he's trying to yell instructions to his players. That chance for Højlund, by far and away by some distance the best opportunity they've had to try and get a goal. Newcastle so on top, seeing so much of the ball going forward, and Manchester United with no answers at the moment. 6 minutes or so to half time, Newcastle still lead 2-0.
Maz, thank you very much. Izzy, Amorim has tried to shore things up by taking off Xerxes, bringing on Mainu. Has it made much difference in the last few minutes?
Well, what it's done is Christian Eriksen's gone higher into that Xerxes position, where he must have lost the ball every time he got it, and he when he got substituted, Xerxes, he put a coat on, he went to the bench, but then he walked back down the tunnel. And you know, for those that know at Old Trafford, it's a long walk down to the tunnel in front of all the fans. He then re-emerged, so he came back out, and whether he just had a little moment to himself, because as a player that is not easy to be substituted in the first half. But Newcastle have been absolutely rampant. They've been all over them, and United's best player's been Ahmad, and even he's been off the pace. So it says a lot about the intensity that Newcastle are putting Manchester United under at the moment.
And Izzy, I think you called this early on. You talked about the balance of the two midfields. We know how strong and how energetic Newcastle are.
Yeah, and Joe Linton, Tonali and Guimaraes, they've probably not come out of third gear yet in a 5 or 6 gear car even. That's how overpowering they've been, and I think it says everything that Amorim has had to address that in the first half by putting Kobbie Mainoo in there alongside Casemiro, who's been really raceful in possession. As I say that, I have no idea what he's just done, but he's just skied the ball into the fans behind the goal. No idea, not a cross-field pass, not a shot. It was nothing, absolutely nothing, and I think that summarises this first half for United.
Izzy and Maz, for now, thank you very much. That game kicked off at 8 o'clock at Old Trafford, so still 5 minutes or so to go in that game, with Newcastle leading by 2-0. Already half-time at Portman Road, back there for the second half for Ipswich. Chelsea, Ipswich leading by 1-0. 12 minutes of added time at the end of the first half at Villa Park. Chris Coles is watching Villa Brighton.
So we still have, Kelly, 2 minutes of the first half to play. Villa 1, Brighton 1. A Dingdra putting Brighton in front. Watkins equalising from the penalty spot. Villa have been the better side in the last 10-15 minutes. They've had a couple of decent opportunities. An Ollie Watkins header easily saved by Verbruggen, and they've just forced a late first half corner as well. Villa 1, Brighton 1 with a couple of minutes of stoppage time to play.
And we'll let you know when the half-time whistle goes in that one. Plus, we'll be back at Portman Road for this second half, and we'll bring you up to date with everything that's happening at Ali Pali this evening after the BBC News with Stuart Clarkson.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Kelly, thank you. Good evening. Edinburgh has called off its Hogmanay celebrations for tonight and tomorrow. Organisers say high winds and wet weather means the street party, concert and midnight fireworks tomorrow can't go ahead. There's an amber alert for rain in place for parts of Scotland from tomorrow, with storms expected to spread to the rest of the UK throughout the rest of the week. 5 people have been charged over the death of Liam Payne in Argentina. The 31-year-old died in October after falling from the balcony of a hotel in Buenos Aires. The judge overseeing the case has said it appears the singer mistook the balcony for the exit to his room. Ukraine and Russia have carried out one of their biggest prisoner of war swaps, with hundreds being reunited with their families tonight. The deal was brokered by the UAE. And India has launched a rocket to carry out its first space docking mission. The Indian-made craft will test a docking manoeuvre crucial for manned travel to the moon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he wants his country to send someone to the moon by 2040.
Coming up in 2025
on BBC Radio 5 Live
and 5 Sports Extra.
Max Verstappen, 4 times a champion in Formula 1.
It's a piece of magic from Bevan French.
He is a magician.
Graf cross-court with a forehand and into the corner. And the man who is barely 21, champion in Paris for the first time.
2025
on BBC Radio 5 Live
and 5 Sports Extra.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Still waiting for the half-time whistle to go at Villa Park. We'll let you know when it does. In the meantime, let's check in at Ali Pali for the latest on the darts with James Gregg.
Well, I'm currently watching Michael van Gerwen at the moment. Kelly, if it's anything other than MVG and the Nuke who win these next 2 matches tonight, there'll be major shocks. Of course, van Gerwen, a 3-time champion, the current world number 3. He's up against the world number 81, Jeff de Graaf, who's never played at this stage at Ali Pali before. But he did knock out Gary Anderson, remember, which was a huge upset. So shock factor is something that he has brought to the stage in the last couple of weeks. Then, of course, headlining tonight, we've got Luke Littler against Ryan Joyce. The odds-on favourite now to win the tournament is Littler. Should be able to win with his B game, but nothing's a given here at the Palace. That said, MVG absolutely cruising. He's a set to the good at the moment, averaging over 100. He looks brilliant, and that first set only took 7 minutes, so it's explosive stuff tonight.
James, thank you very much for keeping us up to date with it. The half-time whistle has gone at Villa Park eventually. Chris Coles.
Eventually, yeah, I think we're in 2025, aren't we? Villa 1, Brighton 1. It has been lively and a busy one for referee Craig Pawson, with particular reference to a lengthy VAR check which ultimately ended in the awarding of a Villa penalty. Van Hecker kicking through Rodgers as he attempted to control a loose ball. Penalty not given. Ref sent to the screen. He looked at it over and over and over again, so much so you were expecting him to stick with his his original decision, but he didn't. Watkins converting the eventual penalty. Prior to that, Simon Adingra had given Brighton the lead, capitalising on a long ball forward, not defended well by Villa. Adingra popping it into the far corner. Villa ending the half stronger. Villa 1, Brighton 1.
Ipswich currently lead Chelsea by 1-0. We'll be back at Portman Road for the second half there. And Newcastle 2-0 up against Manchester United as they're just about to head into added time at the end of the first half. The new tennis season is underway. Novak Djokovic and Nick Kyrgios have formed an unlikely doubles team and won their first match. Correspondent Russell Fuller joins us. Russell, if a tennis fan, for whatever reason, stopped watching the sport 5 years ago and then tuned back in overnight, this could be quite a confusing situation for them.
They would absolutely, Kelly, be asking themselves why Nick Kyrgios was playing with a strange cat, somebody with a sick obsession of wanting to be liked, because that's what he said to a podcast back in 2019 about Novak Djokovic. He said he couldn't stand him, he hated his cringe-worthy celebrations, criticised him further during the pandemic. He was unhappy that Djokovic wrote to the Victoria Premier asking for quarantine rules to be relaxed prior to the Open in 2021. Djokovic, to give him his due, stayed above the fray for the most part, did say never had much respect for Kyrgios, but left it at that. And then it all changed 3 years ago, back at the Australian Open, in fact, in 2022. That was the Australian Open where Djokovic had his visa cancelled, was forced to stay in a government detention hotel and was ultimately deported. And Kyrgios leapt to his defence. And it's been quite a bromance since, culminating in playing doubles today and celebrating victory with a chest bump.
And Kyrgios' first competitive match in 18 months. He's been out with the injury. So how well placed is he ahead of his singles comeback, which is yet to come?
That happens overnight tonight. He has not played a singles match since June 2023, and that was the only match he played that year. But yet in the summer of 2022, he was in the Wimbledon final against Djokovic. Since then, he's had knee operations, he's had a wrist operation. He does seem fully fit. He's one of these players who has amazing touch, plays on instinct, and I think with that big serve, you would expect him to be able to win more matches early in his comeback than some other players might, but it'll still be very, very tough, especially at the Australian Open when it's the best of 5 sets.
And while Nick Kyrgios has paired up with Novak Djokovic, Djokovic, of course, has also hired Andy Murray as his coach for 2025. Here's Djokovic on how their off-season work has gone.
The 10 days that we spent together were terrific. I enjoyed every bit of it. He's very meticulous. He's very dedicated, so professional. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because I've known him for so many years as a player. And obviously, it's a new experience for him as a coach. And it came somewhat as a surprise to him and me that, you know, we are pairing up as a coach-player. Being on the same side of the net is actually great for a change, you know, because he's been one of my greatest rivals. And in a way, it was strange for me to share all this kind of insights about how I feel, you know, on the court, sharing kind of some of the secrets of, you know, what I'm going through, what I'm thinking about, you know, how I see my game with somebody that, you know, has been always one of the top rivals.
Russell, they have always been very respectful of each other, and Djokovic talking about Murray as one of his main rivals, but actually Djokovic dominated their head-to-head. So what is he expecting Murray to add to his game?
I think he's hoping he can extract that extra 2 or 3%, and as he said, it's going to be very, very strange having one of his close rivals in his coaching box and having shared secrets with Andy Murray that he never thought he'd be sharing with a rivalry. But I just wonder, does it give him that little bit of extra motivation? Does it give him an extra bit of inspiration? Maybe Murray can offer suggestions for patterns of play against certain individuals that might make a difference if it's a very, very tight match. And then again, maybe it doesn't work and Andy Murray says, I think my first full year away from the tour, I want to do something else. I suspect there's a good chance it carries on, Kelly. I think Novak Djokovic, and this is probably the last year, realistically, you could expect him to win another Grand Slam title. I'm sure he loves the thought of having Andy Murray in his camp, in his corner at Wimbledon in the summer.
Yeah, it's going to be intriguing to watch that one. Elsewhere, talking about intriguing, there was a winning start for Great Britain in the United Cup. And what that means is that there could be an intriguing matchup in the next tie against Australia.
Yeah, they have just announced their engagement, these two. Katie Boulter of Great Britain and Alex de Minaur of Australia. Great Britain against Australia from breakfast time tomorrow, UK time. They'll both play singles first, and then it could come down to the mixed doubles where they could be on opposite sides of the net. Great Britain will qualify for the quarterfinals if they beat Australia, so it all could come down to the mixed doubles, which is perhaps why Bolter suggests she really is not looking forward to the prospect at all. I mean, it sounds quite a laugh to me, playing against your other half on the other side of the net, but I guess there's a little bit more at stake here. And how ruthlessly do you exploit each other's weaknesses? They'll be very aware of what they are. Do they drill the ball at each other's bodies in an attempt to win a point? Yeah, they're playing for their country. I wonder.
It's going to be fascinating, and with all those plays on the word love, it's going to be a headline writer's absolute dream.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of a pun, but there are going to be so many, aren't there, if that match does take place tomorrow.
And I had to resist very strongly the urge to try and do it. Russell, thank you so much. Good to talk to you. Russell Fuller there. And there are live commentaries every morning from 7 a.m. UK time of the Australian Open in Melbourne with Tennis Breakfast on Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. Half-time whistle has gone in the 8 o'clock kickoff at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United against Newcastle, and it's another tough game at home for Manchester United. Maz Faruqi.
Absolutely. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2 at half time, Kelly. Manchester United all over the place. I know I keep saying that, but honestly they have been. But they should have had a goal back in first half stoppage time. Casemiro putting wide, Kobbie Mainoo laying the ball off to him after a mistake from Cher. That after Højlund earlier had a good opportunity as well for Manchester United to strike from the left of the area, going across the face of goal, just going wide of the right post. That's after Newcastle, of course, went 2-0 up. The goals, both headers from Isak and Joel Linton, finishing off. Nice Newcastle team moves forward, but from a Manchester United perspective, far too easy. And who knows, Izzy, what Ruben Amorim is going to say to his players at half-time, because the expressions, the faces, the body language we were watching from in that first 45, absolute clueless performance at times for Manchester United.
Yeah, it's a real funny one for Amorim at half-time. I actually anticipate him probably not saying too much to his players. I think if you're playing at this level of football, you know what's going wrong personally with him, because they just don't look like a team. They don't look connected. The individuals look off it. They look, lack of ideas when they receive the ball. There's been so many turnovers of the ball in possession for Manchester United, and funny enough, you just mentioned them, as there was that gift given to them towards the end of that first half by Fabian Cher, that mistake. And I think that Kobbie Mainoo started to drive. He slipped in Casemiro, and I don't think Casemiro expected the ball, and it just left this massive groan around the stadium, because that was a lifeline and they didn't take it.
Yeah, reminder, Mainoo came on half an hour into this match, replacing Xerxes. Amorim forced into changes in the first half because Newcastle have been well on top. The camera was trained on Marcus Rashford, just doing some stretches in first half stoppage time. Back in the matchday squad for Manchester United tonight. I wonder if we will see him at some point in the second half, because it can't get much worse, to be honest, for the home side here. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2 at half time.
Maz Faruqi and Izzy Christiansen will keep us up to date with everything that happens in the second half of that game. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff. It was a 7:45 kickoff at Villa Park, but they played 12 minutes of added time at the end of it, so there'll be a little while before the second half gets underway there. It's Villa 1, Brighton 1 at half-time. Chris Coles is across all of that for us. And at Portman Road, where Ipswich are currently leading Chelsea by a 0-0, but they've been holding Chelsea off for much of that first half. Taking you through the second half, Paul Robinson and Mike Miney.
Thanks, Kelly. Fans just filtering in, ready for the second half. Plenty of hot drinks being taken on board at half-time. It is a mild night, really, in Suffolk, but still that little chill in the air. A clear night, good conditions for a game of football, the last of 2024 for both of these two. We're back underway for the second half. I'll run you through the two teams when we get chance. Ipswich in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks are now right to left attacking the Sir Bobby Robson stand in this second 45 minutes. Chelsea in their creamy white away kit, shirts, shorts and socks to match are from left to right, attacking the Sir Alf Ramsey stand away to our right hand side. Their fans huddled in the slightly squashed, it seems, stand that runs the full length of the pitch on the far side. Very short first tier of only 6 or 7 rows, and a bigger second tier with the corrugated metal roof. Here come Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez to the back post, headed by João Felix. cleared inside the 6-yard box, comes to Disassi. He doesn't fancy the shot. Palmer will, trying to squeeze it past 3 Ipswich Town players on the edge of the box, which includes Sam Morsey, who eventually is able to clear it away and out towards the far side. Welcome back, Paul Robinson, as well.
Great pitch awareness there by Wes Burns. He's been playing as an attacking right-sided player, but he smelt the danger there. Madueke on the right-hand side plays Enzo Fernandez in, who in turn lifts it to the far post. João Felix has got a free header, but Wes Burns positions himself on the line, heads it away, clears what would have been a sure goal off the goal line.
Back in the starting 11 tonight, Wes Burns, the 30-year-old Welshman. Here come Chelsea again. It might be attack versus defence in the second half. We've played 2.5 minutes of it. Ipswich with a back 5 strung out across their 18-yard box for now.
Yeah, they started the 4. The whole first half they played with a 4. But initially, now they've started this second half, Wes Burns has dropped in. They're allowing Chelsea possession, comfortable possession. And when they are out of possession, Wes Burns drops in and makes the 5.
Chelsea with Caicedo. Into the centre circle it goes. So Ipswich Town, the home side, with a little bit of defending to do. Here's João Felix, couldn't get the ball that was always behind him. He tried to stretch out a leg and get himself forward at the same time as hooking a leg back to get hold of the ball. He couldn't do that. Foul's been given. Free kick to Ipswich. So the home side have Walton in goal. O'Shea, Greaves, Wolfenden and Davis as the original back 4. Burns is now slotted in to help that. Morsey and Kayuste hold the midfield. Hutchinson and Broadhead behind their goal scorer. The difference in this game so far with his first half penalty in Leon Delap. As for Chelsea, Jorgensen is their goalkeeper tonight. Both teams ahead of kick-off changed their shot stoppers from the previous game. So Walton in replace of Muric for Ipswich. It is Jorgensen in replace of Sanchez tonight for Chelsea. Disassi, Adara Bioyo, Colwell and Cucurella their back 4. Fernandez and Caicedo will hold the midfield. Madueke, Palmer and Felix behind Christopher Nkunku up front. But a lot of Chelsea's play in the first half, their key moments came from either Cole Palmer or João Felix.
Yeah, a lot of it goes through Felix, Cole Palmer, Madueke again on this right-hand side.
Into the penalty area, the angle will be tight, he will go for goal, saved by the squeezed legs of Christian Walton at his near post. On the right-hand side of the penalty area, it gives Chelsea their first corner of this second half.
Good description, Mike. Squeezed legs. That's exactly what it was as well, wasn't it? Chelsea break quickly down this right-hand side. Madueke's played in, cuts into the 18-yard box, and he gets his shot off early. The goalkeeper, it's a difficult one for him because it's fired at him from close range, and he does. He just squeezes his legs together and saves it.
He'd have been frustrated to have been beaten from there. Chelsea corner near side. At the right, Palmer right underneath the goalkeeper, who made a little bit of a mess of that, but somehow his defence helped him out. It's going to be another Chelsea corner. Now Levi Colwell in that melee, I think he's trying to say that he was impeded and feels it should be more than a corner, Paul Robinson.
No, it was a lovely ball in by Cole Palmer, great delivery into the near post. It was a ball that just dropped with no pace, a really difficult one to defend. The ball looped up and it just dropped in the area. There was no pace on it. Fell to the floor. Ipswich are lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, a case of who can react quicker. Another Palmer corner from this near side, swung under the crossbar, but the goalkeeper Christian Walton, who stands with a heighty frame, plucks the ball out of the sky and just rests himself down in the 6-yard box for now. Ipswich 1, Chelsea 0. We played 5.5 minutes of the second half.
Good playing by the goalkeeper. He's grown into this game. It's Christian Walton, the change goalkeeper for Ipswich. There's a couple of nervy moments in the first half. Made a save and his confidence has grown since then.
Ipswich under pressure. Oh, I think that ball might have got out of play. Linesman doesn't give it on this near side, however. Chelsea down the right. The pass back was too short for Christian Walton. I mean, from our angle, we're on the halfway line at the back of the third tier. But the main stand here at Portland Road.
I thought that went out, did you? It looked clearly like the ball had gone out.
There was a gap between the ball and the white line.
The assistant missed that one, I think.
There was a bit of green grass in between the pair, but yeah, from our angle, I won't want to say for certain. Here's Cole Palmer, left-hand side for Chelsea, who trail by a goal to nil. Colwell. Palmer again. Has a look forward, flicks it infield from the far left-hand side to Caicedo, goes back towards the centre circle for Colwell. Now João Felix can get the turn, he lays it for Christopher Nkunku. Lay off from him the Caicedo, who trips it up out towards this right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Away by Ipswich, who are really defending for their lives. They're sat in for the night, and when they play the ball forward, to the halfway line. Nobody is able to chase it down in the blue shirt because they're all so deep. Back to Alexandra Palace, James Gregg.
Well, we were having some magic from Michael van Gerwen. He broke brilliantly, went 2 sets up, but then Jeffrey de Graaf, who was looking like a raffle prize winner up on this stage until the 3rd set, took it 3 legs to nil. It's 2-1 then, and Callan Rydz, who awaits in the new year, will be taking note of this performance.
Thanks, James. It is Liam, the dealer Delap, who has dealt Chelsea a blow in this game. Ipswich leading by a goal to nil. Cucurella in from the left-hand side, header away from Luke Wolfenden. Will be back to Alexandra Palace regularly throughout the evening. We're at Old Trafford as well, where Manchester United are 2-0 down at half-time in the Premier League against Newcastle United. We're also at Villa Park tonight. That too was a 7:45 kick-off, but a lot of added time at the end of the first half for an injury and a couple of VAR checks, so it's there 1-1 with Brighton or Aston Villa. Oh, poor pass back from Disassi, and suddenly Ipswich can look forward with Delap, who's got Broadhead going with him. Delap may go alone, stalls it, edge of the penalty area, laid back for Hutchinson! The former Chelsea man! A Chelsea mistake so costly at Portman Road, and Ipswich Town, who haven't won at home all season, are surely on their way now. Backs against the wall at the start of this second half, but Hutchinson has tucked it into the bottom right-hand corner with his left foot, and it is Ipswich Town 2, Chelsea 0.
Axel Disassi, what are you doing? You've just cost your team. Dominating possession, it was attack versus defence. Chelsea was so comfortable. Madueke plays it back to Disassi. He doesn't look, he looks with his centre half, Caldwell. Leon Delap's there, he's as sharp as attack, runs straight into the 18-yard box. There's still so much work to do, but Leon Delap holds it up, he waits for support, and it's Amari Hutchinson who joins him. First touch, second touch, out of his feet, plays it across Jorgensen into the bottom left-hand corner. Now they've got something to hold on to.
Scored a big goal at home to Manchester United a few weeks back. He has scored perhaps an even bigger one here, and just as Ipswich double their lead, someone's taken the lead at Villa Park, Chris Colst.
And that someone is Aston Villa. Perfect start to the second half for the home side, and when Villa score, Morgan Rogers tends to be involved in those goals, and he scored this one. Really nicely taken, chest control inside the box, right foot finish into the bottom corner. Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1.
Thanks, Chris. I'm really quite surprised by this substitute for Chelsea. A glum looking João Felix walks off the field, takes his coat, sits down on the bench, and in his replacement is Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, and immediately Nkunku moves over to the left-hand side where João Felix was. Madueke on the right, Nkunku on the left, and Nicholas Jackson down the middle. I mean, they were so comfortable, Chelsea. They were all camped so deep in Ipswich's half, but it's the low block. They've hit them on the counter-attack. Disasi's cost his team. It's an awful pass. It's one of those that he doesn't look, he just expects his centre-half to be there without an Ipswich player in between. But Leon Delap reads the game so well. He's onto it so quickly. Really, really good smash and grab, if you like, from the home team.
But they have taken their chances, something Chelsea have failed to do so far. 2-0 down, 10 minutes gone in the second half on 5 Live Sport. Our last live action of 2024. The next Premier League commentary, New Year's Day, 5:15. Brentford against title-chasing Arsenal. Chelsea's title hopes starting to evaporate. 10 points behind Liverpool before the start of play today, down in 4th. They had the chance to close that gap to 7 points, move back up to 2nd, but they're going to start, as it stands, 2025 not only behind Liverpool and Arsenal, but Nottingham Forest as well. Palmer, edge of the penalty area, is down. The ball runs to Caicedo. Here's Cucurella. Last thing Ipswich want to do now is concede after going 2 goals clear. Disassi, costly for that second goal, tries to make amends, swipes wildly at the ball on the right-hand side of the D, and it flies high and wide. It's a goal kick to the home side.
As you can tell by the delight of the home fans, that wasn't Disassi's finest moment, neither was the pass for the goal. That one only just stayed in the bottom tier. It was that bad of a strike from Disassi. But Chelsea, they've got it all to do now. They've had the possession, they've had the opportunities, but it's about creating these chances and taking the chances in the final third. The Chelsea dugout has all very quickly become a very active place.
As a trio of Ipswich Town substitutes go for a warm-up down to our left-hand side. Jack Clark, Sam Schmodix and Calvin Phillips. Kieran McKenna still pacing his technical area, just zips his grey quilted winter coat up right to the very top. Chelsea in possession, but only just outside their own penalty area. Ipswich leading by 2-0.
Liam Delap's been great, hasn't he? I know we talked about him before the game and the impact that he has with this Ipswich side. That's 18 goals now Ipswich have scored this season. Half of them he's been involved in, either assisted or scored. 18 goals scored, he's been involved in 9 of them, and you can see how key and influential he is. He works so hard off the ball as well.
Another goal and assist to his tally tonight. 7 goals, 2 assists in total. As Enzo Fernandez comes down the right hand side, lays it to the near side touchline for Noni Madueke. Disassi back to the edge of the centre circle for Adara Bioyo. Now Colwill, Kukurea, a little stretch of the legs there from Christopher Nkunku, who had a heavy touch. He gets away with it, with the ball going out for a throw-in on the far side via an Ipswich Town player, but not exactly comfortable from Christopher Nkunku, who is on the pitch with Nicholas Jackson. Usually they replace each other. Let's see how the partnership goes tonight. Jackson stands on the edge of the D with the ball midway inside the Ipswich half. 2-0 the home side lead. Enzo Fernandez in from the right hand side. 3 Ipswich Town players around him, Delap and Hutchinson and Broadhead too, into the penalty area, but it's pulled away out of the box by Nicholas Jackson, out towards the far side with Kukurea, stabbed forward by Chelsea's Levi Colwill to Caicedo. Too many players gathered on the edge of the penalty area, and Ipswich can try and charge up the field again. Enzo Maresca dancing down his technical area, trying to get the Chelsea players back so they don't cost themselves a third goal in this game.
They've got time, Chelsea. I mean, they've got over 30 minutes in this game. And believe me, when you're a fragile team at the bottom of the league like Ipswich are, I've been there, I've been in teams like that. You take a lead like this, but one goal changes things very, very quickly. You all of a sudden remember how susceptible you are, how defensively weak you are at times. One goal for Chelsea changes the complex of this game very, very quickly.
Most certainly does. And Palmer tries his best to set one up from the left corner of the penalty area. The ball hits Ipswich's second goal scorer, Amari Hutchinson, flies up into the jet black night sky above Portman Road tonight. A ground that hasn't tasted a Premier League victory since April 2002. Yes, 20 years and more outside the Premier League. Those fans have waited a long time for a moment like this. But the Tractor Boys are motoring on and have their 2-goal cushion. Here's Disassi wearing number 2 for Chelsea with those cream shirts, playing from left to right in the second half. Short passing, left to right, right to left, stretching the play, trying to pull Ipswich out of positions, but they are set solidly so far. Kieran McKenna's side. Here's a ball to the left corner of the penalty area. Nkunku tries to slide it forward. Cleared away by Sam Morsey up towards the halfway line. No blue shirts to chase it down. Chelsea will come again.
It's going to be a very, very long 30 minutes plus stoppage time for Ipswich if they sit this deep. Chelsea, they must have had 90% possession, maybe more, since Ipswich got the second goal. They're just absolutely camped in the final third.
Delap stayed down. His legs were scissored out by a Chelsea player. Now the cross comes in by Madueke. Header from inside the Ipswich Town penalty area away to our right hand side. Clears the box for now. Palmer brings it down over his shoulder. Ball bounces once or twice, and then Moises Caicedo, who is facing in the right direction that Chelsea need to go in, but needs the option to go forward. And then Madueke hadn't continued his run for Enzo Fernandez. Leif Davis can pick it off for Ipswich, and cleared long. It misses Liam Delap. It'll run on through for Moises Caicedo to collect. Jorgensen was an option. Let's go back to Ali Pali, latest on the World Darts Championship from James Gregg.
A bit of a fight back here, Mike, from Sweden's Jeff de Graaf, the world number 8-1, pushing the 3-time champion of the world hard here. Incredible darts from a man who's never been this far before at Ali Pali. Michael van Gerwen stormed off the stage as he made it 2 sets apiece. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get an upset tonight. A big one it'd be too. Luke Littler warming up backstage at the moment, and he'd love to see van Gerwen get knocked out here.
He most certainly would. There's been some big shocks in the World Darts Championship this season. More seats fell after the first couple of rounds than in any other previous year. Here Chelsea played a ball from the left hand side. It's resulted in a corner on the near side right. 1-2 played. Palmer swings it in. Walton had come off his line and quickly had to readjust. He was backtracking and eventually stops his feet on the goal line, his arms held out, he's caught it, and Ipswich can just relieve themselves for a minute.
Only just. Made a real mess of that, the goalkeeper. It's a wonderful ball in again by Cole Palmer. Goalkeeper misjudges the flight, gets it all wrong, backpedaling, mishandles it, grabs it at the second attempt. Disassi coming in from behind.
Goalkeepers under the spotlight tonight, both changed by the manager ahead of kick-off. So Sanchez out for Chelsea, Muric out for Ipswich, who are coming forward with Delat to give Jorgensen, the Chelsea goalkeeper, something to think about. But that shot was his poorest of the night, nowhere near the goal, high and wide from the right of the deep. Chelsea goal kick. What have you made of the two shot stoppers in this game, Paul Robinson?
I think Christian Walton has had the better of the two games. Obviously Jorgensen gave away the penalty, can't really fault him for Hutchinson's second, and other than that the interaction for the Chelsea goalkeeper hasn't been there. It's been few and far between, but actually Walton in the Ipswich goal, he's made some really vital saves, and the save that he made with his top hand just before half time protected his team's clean sheet going into that half time, could prove to be vitally important for them. He's looked nervy at times, he's played okay, he's played well.
Jadon Sancho being readied by Chelsea to come on in a moment. Another attacking substitution for Enzo Maresca, whose side are 2-0 down. 63 minutes played here at Portman Road in the Premier League. Five Live's final commentary of 2024. Do join Maz Faruqi tomorrow night from 7 o'clock. And she looks back at the year. She looks at the latest Premier League results in games and ahead to 2025 with Nigel Reo-Coker and Don Hutchinson too. That's 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Down the left-hand side come Chelsea. Cucurella, stretch of the leg. Both players, Cucurella and Wes Burns, there raising one leg each to try and get control of the ball. Chelsea nick it as it goes out towards the far side. Coming in from the left is Cole Palmer. Now Disassi. Ipswich Town leading by 2-0. Chelsea trying to get themselves back into this game with Madueke. Step overs there are plenty, but it is well read in the end by Jens Kajuste, and it's out for a Chelsea throw-in on this near side.
Good defending by Kajuste. Him and Morsey, the two defensive holding midfielders, they're getting deeper and deeper, but they're having to protect this back five now for Ipswich.
Kajuste, the Napoli loanee. Now Ipswich have won the ball again. Can they drive themselves up the field on the counter-attack? That is how they're going to get another goal in this game. They are defending resolutely for now, as Hutchinson thought he could turn forward to the halfway line. Referee, a slight delay on the whistle from John Brooks. Foul given on Moises Caicedo. Plumb central, midway inside the Ipswich half.
Napoli to Ipswich. I suspect that's not a path that well trodden, is it, Mike?
Both from footballers and holiday makers, I guess. Here comes the Chelsea substitution, and it's going to see Christopher Nkunku replaced. Rare start in the Premier League for him. And Jadon Sancho comes onto the field. The former Manchester United man will be going to Old Trafford in a moment after this Chelsea free kick.
It makes sense. You can understand the substitution because Nicholas Jackson's come on. He's gone down the middle as a 9. And then Maresca clearly feels that he's better with Jadon Sancho on the left-hand side than he is with Nkunku.
Fernandez's free kick caught by Christian Walton to Old Trafford, then Manchester United against Newcastle United. Maz Faruqi.
And we've played 54 minutes here, still Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2. Newcastle with a free kick in the last couple of seconds. Manchester United able to get it clear, and they have been playing slightly more positively in this second half, Izzy Christensen, compared to obviously what we saw in the first half. But attacking the Stretford end, there has been a lot of play in and around the Newcastle 18-yard box in the opening minutes of the second half.
That's exactly it. They've come out with a little bit more bite about them, a little bit more aggression. I think they've dominated the ball so far in the second half, and they've really pushed Newcastle back. But what that then does is it opens up space for the likes of Isak and Gordon on the counter-attack. But there has certainly been a response, but like you say, it couldn't have got any worse than that first half for Manchester United.
No subs made by either manager at half-time. Remember, Ruben Amorim, Hoyt, Joshua Zirkzee for Kobbie Mainoo. Half an hour in, we've played 55 minutes here now at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2.
Manchester United could lose 3 league home games in a row for the first time since 1979. That is what stands before Ruben Amorim. Ipswich have dragged the ball forward, got into the centre circle. Liam Delat's won a free kick, and a yellow card shown to Caicedo.
Good year for football, 1979, you know, Mike. Really important year for English football.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you going to elaborate? I know exactly what's coming.
I was born. Delap does really well again there in the centre circle. That's what he's going to be charged with now for the rest of the game. Holding the ball up, keeping possession for his team, winning free kicks, running the channels, working extremely hard like he does. Draws the foul at a Caicedo there, and now Ipswich have got an opportunity to put the ball forward long into the box.
Momentary respite, and our necks actually get to turn to the left-hand side for a rare moment. Leif Davis with the ball across the penalty area from the long free kick. It will fall for Broadhead, who tries to slam the ball down into the ground, get it bouncing and sneak into the bottom left-hand corner. Good save by Jorgensen down to his right. It's still Ipswich who lead 2-0.
And you feel those opportunities for Ipswich are going to be few and far between the longer this game goes on, but they still pose that threat. They're not afraid to put the ball forward. Ball comes to Broadhead, doesn't quite get hold of his shot, hits it into the ground. Decent save by Jorgensen, but again it shows that Ipswich have got the threat on the counter-attack.
Ipswich Town, who will stay in the relegation zone even if they do hold on to this 2-0 lead and win tonight. Previous two occasions they've been in the Premier League drop zone at the turn of the year. They have been relegated 1994-95 and 2001-2002. Chelsea progress for the turn of the year from their last 2 years. 9th in 2023, they were 10th on New Year's Day in 2024. So steady progress. They're going to be in the top 4, just not as high up in that top 4 as they perhaps thought they might be after tonight's game. Liverpool lead the way. Chelsea 10 points behind the Premier League leaders heading into 2025. I think there's got to be a lot of credit given to Enzo Maresco to get them in that top 4 in that title race conversation, but when you've had a taste of it, when you you can push the league leaders, the fans will want to see more.
Listen, it's the old adage, isn't it? With success comes expectation. So you have that little bit of success early on in the season, people start talking about a title race, and you're expected to win games, and you're expected the success quicker than maybe you thought it would be. I think a lot of us looked at the recruitment, like we said, didn't we, at Chelsea at the beginning of the season, but he's proven it's working.
Chelsea corner taken towards the edge of the penalty area near side the right. Enzo Fernandez just spins back in field, uses Caicedo, whose pass is picked off, and now Liam Delap will once again drag Ipswich up and over the halfway line. Steps across Mark Cucurella. He's done brilliantly there, the number 19 of Ipswich Town. Then tries to float one across to Amari Hutchinson, who was waiting on this near side. But the lofted ball was easily read by the Chelsea defence and headed back to Jorgensen.
He's clever there, Liam Delap. He runs right across the front of Mark Cucurella, knowing that he can't touch him. The slightest touch, he'd have won his team a free kick.
Smart player. Could be an important player for England, according to Enzo Maresco, the Chelsea manager who had him at Manchester City in the academy. As Chelsea try and squeeze it through on the edge of the penalty area, players collide. Now Palmer, he slipped as he went to take the shot and then stalled himself. Still going, Palmer. Hits the back of Greaves. It's fallen to Enzo Fernandez. Now Madueke tries the first time shot. Appeals of handball. VAR, of course, can check that as play continues. Ball's exited the 18-yard box for now. Disassi in possession for Chelsea, who come again.
I think it was too close. Madueke, as he gets the shot off left-footed, doesn't really catch it. Seems to hit Leif Davis, but I don't think it's there's no penalty in that. I think one, it was too close, and I'm not so sure it hit his hand.
Correa racing for it. Smart defending by Luke Wolfenden. Sees it out of play. And that's going to be a goal kick to Ipswich, away to our right-hand side. Ipswich who lead by 2-0. 20 minutes left of this Premier League game. And the away side has never won this fixture. 5 home wins, 5 draws, and we're going to form at the minute.
Absolutely, they are. Ipswich deserve it as well. I mean, they've dug in, they've suffered at times in this game, but they've got the 2 goals, and all of a sudden you can hear the home support now. They're starting to believe.
Still waiting for this goal kick to be taken from Christian Walton. Ed Sheeran watching on, smiling away, baseball cap on, sat down in the posh seats in one of the boxes here. Ipswich Town, of which he is a co-owner, are leading against Chelsea, the former Premier League champions. Long ball away, headed by Disassi inside his own half. Here is Chelsea try and clear it themselves. Well read by Sam Morsey, sliding intercepted ahead of Cole Palmer inside the centre circle. Broadhead moves out towards the left-hand side, showed too much of the ball to Noni Madueke, who brings it away, and now Caicedo runs up to the halfway line, out towards the left-hand side. Here is Colwell. 5 Live Sport live from Portman Road this evening in the Premier League, with Ipswich Town leading by 2-0. Hutchinson, he can get the turn, looks towards the halfway line, but eventually checks back, thinks better of it. Now Ipswich are turning on the style. A little back heel there has worked from Kayuste, although in the aftermath the bobbling and bouncing ball didn't do him any favours. Can't find Liam Delap. Chelsea in possession.
It's the best I've seen Ipswich this season. Not necessarily the best that they've played this season, but the best that I've seen them. I think there was signs of this type of performance coming in the away game at Arsenal, where they narrowly lost. They've been really impressive tonight.
Kayuste slides in. It's flown up and behind for a corner kick to Chelsea. We'll let this happen, and then we'll go to Villa Park for the latest. Villa leading 2-1, having been a goal down early on to Brighton, the last we heard with Chris Coles. Manchester United still trailing against Newcastle United at Old Trafford by 2-0. More Chelsea changes are on the way. Focus though down to our right hand side for this Chelsea corner. Far side, the left. Expect a right-footed in-swinging delivery. Right again on the goal line it goes, behind by Wolfenden. Another Chelsea corner. Paul Robinson.
Good delivery again. It's clearly a ploy that Chelsea have from this right-hand side. Cole Palmer in-swingers with his left foot. They try and just drop that ball like a dead weight at the near post, and again it was a dangerous delivery by Fernandes.
Pedro Neto, the man being readied by Enzo Maresca. Another Enzo Fernandez corner, far side, the left, in-swinging delivery, headed away by Jacob Greaves. It'll come to Jadon Sancho, who pushes it back out to the corner taker. Fernandez, his cross it, doesn't beat the first man, and away by Wes Burns, and away we go to Villa Park. Chris Coles.
Villa still leading Brighton 2-1, 25 minutes to play. Villa in control of the scoreboard. They're in control of the game by and large, but want that third goal. Brighton have introduced Ruter, Mitoma and Minter in their search for an equaliser. Villa 2, Brighton 1.
Colwell has stayed down inside the Ipswich penalty area in the aftermath of all that. Two quick successive corners. Chelsea coming forward here down the left-hand side, the far side. Cucurella ahead of Fernandez, who tried to push the ball on through but couldn't. Ipswich have broke away. We will break away to go to Old Trafford, or in fact hold that thought, because here comes Liam Delap down the right-hand side. He's got a lot of work to do. Enters the penalty area, still Delap, and it's pushed over from Jorgensen. The angle was tight, it didn't favour the striker, but another shot on target, and he screams to the fans behind the goal in the Sir Bobby Robson stand to our left-hand side. He wants more, because Ipswich are 17 minutes away from a famous Premier League victory.
He's a good player, he is. You can see why he's linked with all these top clubs. He makes something out of nothing there. 3 Chelsea defenders around him. You think he's going to go for a little bit of game management, go into the corner. He's got other thoughts. He drives into the box, smashes a shot on target for the tightest of angles. Goalkeeper has to make the save, wins his team a corner.
Corner near side then, the left for Ipswich Town. This could be a seismic moment in the game. Nathan Broadhead has the responsibility to deliver the perfect corner. Away down to our left-hand side, expected in-swinging, right-footed delivery from the man who only a few seasons ago was on loan at Wigan Athletic. Broadhead's delivery into the near post. Whose head was that off last? John Brooks says we're heading for another Ipswich corner.
Just misses it, Darragh O'Shea. Centre half makes a fantastic run across the near post. It's a lovely delivery by Broadhead. Darragh O'Shea ends up in the hoardings, the advertising hoardings, head in his hands. He knows how close he is. He just runs across the front of that, the near post.
Malo Gusto also being readied by Chelsea. Double change on the way for Ipswich, with Sammy Smodics and Calvin Phillips stripped off and their blue shirts on, ready to head onto the pitch for Ipswich. First though, this corner from Broadhead, in again at the near post. It comes off Disassi again, and we're heading for a third successive Ipswich Town corner.
All this while the clock's ticking down for Ipswich. He's not in a rush, isn't Nathan Broadhead, to take the corner. Walks slowly over to one of those white cones with the ball sat on top of it. Makes his way back to the corner quadrant. Another delivery coming in to a packed 6-yard box.
April 2002, remember that. It's the last time that Ipswich won at home in the Premier League. Another corner from Broadhead. It is flicked on at the near post, but it's Chelsea away. Let's go to Old Trafford. Latest on Manchester United against Newcastle. Maz Faruqi.
Maguire has come closest to a goal for Manchester United in this second half. He's hit the left post with a header down low, a couple of yards out, really attacking the cross on the left from Dallow. But Newcastle United still lead here. 64 minutes played. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2.
And to Alexandra Palace, James Gregg.
where we are one leg away from Michael van Gerwen booking his spot
Hold
in the
that,
last
James,
eight.
because here's Nicholas Jackson, who came close for Chelsea to get them within one of parity. The flag goes up anyway. He's offside, running down the middle, trying to slot it into the bottom right-hand corner. He couldn't. Back to you, James.
Yeah, we're just saying, Mike, Michael van Gerwen very, very close. Just needs the mere 144 to book his spot in the last eight of the PDC World Darts Championship. He's been great both before and after the fight back from Jeff de Graaf. I'll see if he can make this magnificent check out in a couple of minutes' time.
Thanks, James. And we'll just run you through these changes. Sammy Smodics is coming on to replace Nathan Broadhead for Ipswich Town. The first change is made by Kieran McKenna this evening. Jens Kajuste, the midfielder, also is off. Calvin Phillips comes on in his place.
Like for like, I think, from an Ipswich point of view. Calvin Phillips and Smodics coming on. Calvin Phillips just give that little bit more protection in front of the back four. This could be Enzo Maresca's final throw of the dice tonight. Takes off Disassi, who's at fault for the second goal. Gusto comes on, maybe a little bit more of an attacking force down the right hand side. Madueke off, Neto on, both like for like.
Disassi, Madueke make way. Chelsea chasing this. There's still plenty of time for the West London side, but time running out, and every second the ball goes out of play, like it has for a throw-in now, Ipswich will take their time. They're in no rush. They lead by 2-0 this evening on 5 Live Sport. Plenty of analysis to come. Paul Robinson, the former England goalkeeper, with us tonight. Izzy Christiansen watching. Manchester United currently 2-0 down against Newcastle United. Let's go back to Ali Pally and get the latest on that MVG result, James Gregg.
Well, the three-time champion breezed through the 5th and the 6th set to get to the last 8 here at Ali Pally, barring a blip where he gifted de Graaf 2 sets. He was magical, was Michael van Gerwen, averaging 102. A statement win ahead of Luke the Nuke, who's up next here on the Ali Pally stage.
And we'll be across that on 5 Live Sport as well. Thanks, James. As Enzo Fernandez tries to turn against Jacob Greaves. He's a big figure, Jacob Greaves, the £15 million summer signing from Hull for Ipswich Town. His 10th start on the Premier League campaign. Oh, Sammy Morsey's nicked in there. I think Neto thinks he's fouled. Morsey has got them over the halfway line, and then the referee's pulled it back, and that will upset the Ipswich Town fans.
He's been conned. It looks like Neto's conned the referee.
And then there's an off-the-ball incident with Cucurella and Sammy Morsey. Cucurella with his theatrics as well.
No, they're all falling over now. Everyone's going down. The referee needs eyes in the back of his head at the moment. He's going to need some help from his assistant referees.
Chris Sutton in his simulation game on 6:06 on a Sunday night. He's got plenty of material this week from this game alone.
Just in that last minute, you've got 3 there.
I wonder if there'll be an award at the end of the season. There's some contenders here. Kyle Walker in the Manchester derby being another. I'm sure there's many other examples I can't think of off the top of my head right now. 11 minutes to go. Ipswich Town 2, Chelsea 0. Big result for Ipswich. This will put them as a point off the safety. Here's all the replays that we're going to see then. So it's a little elbow in the back of the head, maybe a Pedro Neto at best.
It was a lean. Calvin Phillips leaned on him and he went over because he knew that he'd lost possession. Sam Morsey was attacking the Chelsea back four. They're away on the counter-attack and Neto's conned the referee.
Another free kick given to Chelsea just outside their own penalty area. With little over 10 minutes to go at Portman Road. Famous night for Ipswich Town as it stands. They lead Chelsea by 2-0. Here's Cole Palmer so deep, trying to influence the play, trying to push Chelsea forward. He's only just going over the halfway line himself now as the ball gets level with the right corner of the penalty area. Neto infield, pulling away further from the Ipswich Town penalty area. Now has the overlap from Malo Gusto, struggling for form under Enzo Maresca. Palmer switches it left foot to right foot, puts it on his left boot. Gusto's cross takes a nick off the back of Leif Davis that actually, if anything, helps Christian Walton gather on his goal line.
Comfortable catch for the goalkeeper. It's a little bit slow from a Chelsea point of view, the build-up. It's not quick enough, like you said there, Mike. Cole Palmer is now reverting to coming deeper to pick the ball up. We know he plays in that 10 role, so influential. He's such a good player, but he's having to come deep to try and be influential tonight, trying to pick the ball up. They're just trying to make something happen.
Pass back's got to be careful from Greaves, and then Walton nearly delivers it onto the feet of Cole Palmer. They bail themselves out, Ipswich, but only just. You don't need to be doing that. 10 minutes from time.
Just don't get it. Do not understand it. 9 minutes to go. You're 2-0 up at home to Chelsea. Why are you playing risky passes? Greaves, Walton, the goalkeeper, playing short passes in and around the edge of your own box, putting the ball at risk. You do not need to do it.
Jackson, edge of the D, lays it to the right-hand side for Neto. 2-3 touches, low shot that takes a couple of deflections. The last being off his own man in Enzo Fernandez, who I think was trying to get out of the way, but behind it goes for a goal kick. And Ipswich still have that 2-goal cushion.
Frustrates me, it really does, when you see teams overplaying. You understand that teams have got an identity and they want to play a certain way. Kieran McKenna now, he's at the edge of his technical area, saying to his players, they've got a goal kick. He's just said to his players, he's come out to the edge of the pitch and gone, get up the pitch, get up the pitch. Goalkeeper won't kick it as far as you can. We're entering the last 7.5 minutes. Now the goalkeeper's put the ball down the edge of his 6-yard line and kicked it half the length of the pitch like he should have done 2 minutes ago.
Nearly sent it out of play, but Ipswich have the possession, and Greaves has just cushioned that with a bit of power out towards the far side, asking Hutchinson to chase. As it is, it goes out for a Chelsea throw-in right in front of that tiny first tier of the stand that runs the full length of the pitch on the far side of the ground, 6 or 7 rows back at a shallow angle, and then a larger second tier above it, the grey corrugated metal roof with the moss growing on top. Lots of tradition in this stadium, and a big famous win for Ipswich on the cards as it stands. Malo Gusto and Liam Delap having a little off the ball pushing match shoulder to shoulder, as Gusto clears off the base of Delap's boot, so it's gone for a Chelsea goal kick. Back to Old Trafford are Manchester United, finding a route back into this game. Maz Faruqi.
Well, they're running out of time. 90 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Newcastle United still with the 2-goal lead. Some more subs to bring you up to speed with Garnacho and Yorov coming from Martinez and Casemiro. Livramento's replaced Trippier as well. That was maybe a bit of caution by Eddie Howe. He did go down clutching the back of his left thigh. Manchester United are better in this second half, Izzy, but apart from that chance, that header that hit the left post from Harry Maguire, they haven't really created anything too clear-cut.
That's right, yeah, that diving header from Maguire was excellent, really. It was quite unfortunate they didn't nestle him with the back of the net, but there's just been a spell of possession for Newcastle where it's been like men against boys, and or attack v defence, if you like, in a training session drill. They've been so dominant on the ball. Manchester United are really struggling to find a foothold in this game to get themselves back into it.
Yeah, and they are running out of time, so we've got 72 minutes on the clock here. Still Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2.
We'll be there if anything happens. Whilst Maz and Izzy are giving us the latest there, Liam Delap was booked for kicking a second ball on the pitch to delay the restart for Chelsea, who are trying to get back in this game. They might now. Sancho, right-footed shot from the left of the penalty area, just on the edge of the box, but into a crowd of blue shirts of Ipswich.
He was clever, Liam Delap. You could see Chelsea wanting to take a quick goal kick. He was out of play in the corner, out of position. Takes the opportunity, just kicks another ball into the field. The referee saw it though.
It's the dark arts, it'll help Ipswich perhaps as Palmer, half shot, half cross, whatever it was, nowhere near the goal, nowhere near a Chelsea man behind it, sails out of play. Ipswich still lead 2-0.
Game management, time wasting, disrupting the play, call it what you want, but Ipswich are going to have to do it all now to get themselves over the line. There's nobody leaving this stadium early tonight. Entering the last 5 minutes or so, they can smell their first win.
They most certainly can. 4 draws, 5 defeats in their previous 9 home games in the Premier League this season. They lead by 2-0. Ben Johnson being readied by Kieran McKenna. And out of play it goes for a Chelsea throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, be changing it up now, a little bit more defensive structure. Be interesting to see who he brings off the pitch. Actually, now it will be a case of Ipswich sitting deeper as the game goes. They'll be looking to defend that back 5, 3 or 4 holding midfielders in front. Calvin Phillips anchoring that.
Jackson takes it on the chest control and then tries to spin and turn on the volley at the same time. Just sends the ball flying over the bar. 4.5 minutes left of normal time for Ipswich Town to hold on. They're 2-0 up against Chelsea at home in the Premier League. And Ben Johnson is going to come on and replace Wes Burns to a standing ovation.
Yeah, more of a natural defender, if you like. Wes Burns is putting a real shift on that right-hand side. Him and Hutchinson have worked extremely hard, pressing from the front. and it's a change that Kieran McKenna will make. Johnson immediately going over to that right hand side, sits at the edge of the midfielders, drop in, make that back five just as Wes Burns has done. But he's been excellent tonight. Wes Burns works really, really hard both offensively and defensively for his team, and he's taken a round of applause as he makes his way round the back of the goal to our right.
Caicedo hooks it forward on the volley. Palmer, first time hit from the halfway line, trying to spin the ball out towards the near side left, and he can't find his intended target of Pedro Neto. Colwell's down on the far side. Now Malo Gusto's trying to wrestle it off Leif Davis, who'd held onto the ball in the stoppage of the play. A little fight's broken out down here by the Chelsea dugout. A melee of blue and white shirts. Chelsea and Ipswich players coming together. That all comes from Leif Davis holding on to the ball. Malo Gusto wanted it quickly to get the play restarted. No play would have restarted because Colwell's still down on the far side. But unpleasant scenes here at Portman Road.
Oh, it's pathetic. I don't know what Gusto's doing. It's Gusto's own player, Caldwell, who's down on the far side. Gusto's trying to wrestle the ball off Leif Davis, who he'd already put to the floor. Leif Davis was within his right. He just wanted to get back in position, held the ball, but then as soon as Gusto tried to get it off him, became two toddlers in the playground arguing over a football when Caldwell was over the far side, Gusto's teammate, requiring treatment, and the referee books them both for petulance.
Well, what it means is that clock continues to run down for Ipswich. We're still going to get plenty of added time here. It was a little push from Gusto in the back of Leif Davis that started that, and then all sorts.
It was rubbish, wasn't it? It was a really poor attempt, wasn't it? By everyone trying to wrestle the ball off each other.
Colwell has received a little bit of treatment. That's what the actual stoppage is for in all of that. Referee has booked a Chelsea player within that. Colwell's gone into the book. I think there might be a couple more yellow cards being shown here. Colwell being sarcastically jeered by the Ipswich fans on that far side as he walks off.
Well, he's gone down with a head injury and he's frustrated at the referee because the referee sent him off the pitch. So he's had to go off the pitch at the far side and he's still protesting. Why does he have to go off the pitch? Referee's wandering back to this near side. It was a coming together, slight clash of heads. I think it was a stray finger in all honesty by the substitute Ben Johnson. Just catches him with a stray finger in his eye. It's a painful one, nothing too serious for him. Frustration more than anything from the Chelsea team now.
The play is going to resume just inside the Chelsea half to the left of the centre circle. Calvin Phillips will send it long. It was a drop ball, no sportsmanship behaviour there. It's come to Hutchinson on the edge of the penalty area, who was looking for his shot away. He's already scored an important goal in this game. There's been another goal at Villa Park. Which way, Chris Coles?
This is an important one for Brighton, Mike. Villa 2, Brighton 2. Tariq Lamptey has equalised. Another really good Brighton move. João Pedro involved, his right foot flick to the on-rushing Lamptey, who drives into the corner. Villa 2, Brighton 2, 8 minutes to play.
Thanks, Chris. Doesn't help their form. Villa have lost 5 of the last 9. Brighton winless in 6 Premier League games, but precious points. It was 9th versus 10th before the start of play today. Ipswich will be going 18th in the Premier League and a point off safety as it stands here. Chelsea will remain 4th, but 10 points off league leaders Liverpool. Palmer with a bit of pace down the left-hand side, trying to get round Sam Morsey. He wants a free kick. Ipswich get a goal kick.
Listen at the relief from the home fans there. They really are now starting to believe that they can get this over the line. Cole Palmer down the left-hand side, feels he was caught, shaking his head at the referee, wants a free kick. Sums up Chelsea's night, really. Had a lot of the possession, dominated a lot of the game, just haven't had that quality in the final third, the last pass, the last opportunity on goal. They haven't created enough, Chelsea. Christian Walton in the goal, he's made a few good saves tonight in the Ipswich goal, but actually the possession stats heavily in Chelsea's favour, but actually clear opportunities, not that many.
All eyes at Portman Road, down on the 4th official, who shows us 5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes for Chelsea to try and rescue something, or Ipswich to hold on. As Delap gets round the back of Levi Colwell, but runs out of time. Ball goes over the byline, away to our left-hand side, just outside the box. So it is going to be a goal kick taken quickly by Chelsea, trailing as they are by 2-0. They usually enjoy year ends, Chelsea. Haven't lost on the final Premier League fixture of the calendar year since 2011. They haven't lost away from home as their final Premier League game of the calendar year since 2002, when they lost at Leeds. As for Ipswich, they won't care too much about records like that being broken. They want their home record to start improving, and they're on course for their first home win of the season. Were you in that Leeds side?
What year was that?
2002.
Yeah, it will have been, yeah, it will have been. This shows what a massive performance this is by this Ipswich side, though. I mean, this Chelsea team, they've only lost at Anfield and the Emirates in their last 18 away games, and it's looking like you can add Portman Road to that list. That shows what they've had to do tonight, Ipswich.
Ipswich have a throw-in inside the Chelsea half. The first minute of the 5 that were added on has gone. 4 minutes left for Ipswich here, and everybody inside Portman Road, particularly in that Sir Bobby Robson stand behind the goal to our left, on their feet. Every second being watched eagerly as it ticks away on the scoreboard in the corner to our right hand side.
There's going to be some noise when the final whistle goes. You won't need us to tell you when it's gone.
Gusto. We might not even hear it. Here's Neto. Enzo Fernandez, 10 yards inside the Ipswich half. Oh, it's a poor passing field. That it's just a pass really to Amari Hutchinson, and Delap tries to hold it up as he so often has in this second half. Leif Davis clips it down the left hand side, headed on by Calvin Phillips. Tosin Adarabayoyo trying to shield off Sammy Smodics. The pass back to Jorgensen under pressure from Hutchinson. He seemed to delay needlessly, gets away with it.
Yeah, last chance saloon it really is for Chelsea now. Got to get the ball from back to front very, very quickly if they're going to get anything from this game.
Goal now really changes it. Sancho into the penalty area, lays it off for Enzo Fernandez. Deflection, was there? No, a wild shot. And behind it goes for a goal kick. 2.5 minutes remain of added time here.
Another poor attempt from a Chelsea player when they shoot an opportunity. Fernandez this time gets space just outside the edge of the Ipswich box. Fires it aimlessly over the bar, and he's so frustrated. You can see him, head in hands. Another opportunity goes begging for Chelsea, but not a good opportunity. No real clear-cut opportunities for them.
This just shows how far some of these Ipswich Town players have come in recent years. Taylor and Al Hamadi are coming on. Al Hamadi, who a year ago today was helping AFC Wimbledon beat Colchester 5-3 in League Two. And Jack Taylor, the Irishman, Ipswich's most used substitute this year, 2 years ago was playing for Chelsea's under-21s and being replaced. They're 2 goal scorers to a huge standing ovation on all sides of this famous ground, and they're bouncing away in the stand away to our far side in the northwest corner from where we're sat. Amari Hutchinson got the second, Liam Delap got the first. They've both been given their moment with all these fans.
Yeah, nice touch by the manager, Kieran McKenna. Both go off to an absolutely huge standing ovation, and this place is bouncing. I've never seen it like this for a long, long time. Over to our left hand side, both sets of Ipswich fans in the main stand, the stand behind the goal. The whole place is bouncing as there's another coming together in the middle of the pitch. It's Enzo Fernandez this time. Enzo Fernandez, he's causing real problems in there, real petulance, frustration from the Chelsea side, but he needs to get on with the game. I mean, what are we? We're 4 minutes into 5 added. I don't know what he thinks he's going to get from doing this, but Enzo Fernandez is the one at the heart causing all the problems. Sam Morse is in the middle of it. Calvin Phillips is trying to pull people away. The referee's got a real job on his hands here to sort this one out.
It just shows that Chelsea's Christmas has just unfolded in front of them. Discarded like a piece of wrapping paper, the way they've been dealt with over Christmas. Losing to Fulham, and now here at Ipswich, the clock runs down. We're deep into the 5th minute of added time, which is what we were shown. There might be a little bit more than that once we hit the 95-minute mark. Enzo Fernandez has gone in the book as a result.
He's done well, the referee. Actually, he took a step back from that, Mel, because that was a coming together. Another 5-8 players in the middle of the pitch, and it was Enzo Fernandez and Sam Ballsy at the centre of it. Referee picked him out.
Sammy Smodics looks goal bound, shouldered off the ball by Pedro Neto, and it was all fair according to referee John Brooks. Sancho has got the better of his man on the far side, tries to nudge the ball forward for Nicholas Jackson, well defended by Luke Wolfenden, who steps across, pushed out of play further by Ben Johnson. Chelsea throw in midway inside the Ipswich half on the far side. We're well past the 5 minutes that were shown. The whistle's coming from the Ipswich Town fans who've waited a long, long time for a night like this in the Premier League here at Portman Road. Neto down the right hand side, trying to give Chelsea a little bit of credit in this game. Enzo Fernandez, central, Caicedo. Fernandez again to his right-hand side. Swings a delivery in, high towards the rear of the penalty area. It just needs to be away from Ipswich. It is from Jack Taylor. Rolls out for a throw-in on the far side. Chelsea inside the centre circle with Caicedo. Big night in the east of England. Headed up by Tosin Adarabioyo, who's gone forward as a centre-back to try and influence the play in any which way he can. Hooked away by Taylor. Watches one bounce, two bounces from Ali Al-Hamadi onto the halfway line. Still we play on. We're 90 seconds past the 5 minutes of added time that have been shown, but no more. Ipswich Town win at home in the Premier League for the first time this season. They win at home in the Premier League for the first time since April 2002. It has been a 22-year wait that ends on one of the final nights of 2024. A Liam Delap penalty and an Amari Hutchinson tidy finish into the bottom corner have sealed a second defeat over the Christmas period for Chelsea, who watch their title hopes fade. 10 points behind the league leaders tonight as a result. But the story is Ipswich Town. This promoted side are holding their own at the halfway mark. A point from safety as it stands after 19 Premier League games. They have waited a long, long time for this. But finally, they can say they've got that home win. It has finished here at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 2, Chelsea 0.
A famous, famous night at Portman Road. And everybody who was here to see it from an Ipswich Town point of view has stayed right to the end, and they're still here. The noise inside this stadium is outstanding. The team were outstanding. To a man, they pressed hard, they worked hard. Amari Hutchinson, Wes Burns, Liam Delap was absolutely excellent. Led the line, set the tone for his team, and the rest of his teammates followed him. The Chelsea players are still moaning on the pitch. Enzo Fernandez is at the heart of it again. There's still petulance. There's a melee going on in the middle of the pitch. But take all that away. Tonight belongs to Ipswich Town. What an incredible result for this football club.
The only blue seats inside Portman Road are on the top tier of the stand on the far side, from the halfway line all the way down to the corner away to our right hand side. That's where the Chelsea fans were sat. Elsewhere inside Portman Road there are fans applauding their team, some with large flags, blue and white and black flags being waved. Away in the corner to our left-hand side, nobody has left if you're of an Ipswich Town persuasion, because, Kelly, the goals of Liam Delap and Amari Hutchinson, the former Chelsea player, have given them a crucial win in their bid for safety, but a memorable night on their return season in the Premier League. They have won here by 2-0.
It's Mike Minay and Paul Robinson at Portman Road watching that moment for Ipswich when they do get that first home victory of the season. And look, Paul, as you would expect against a side like Chelsea who move into fourth place in the table, you get the difficult moments in that game, but it wasn't just about what Ipswich were able to create, it was about the resilience that they showed.
They had to suffer at times in that game, Kelly, they really did, but they dug in. They were a back four in possession, a back five out of possession, and you could see the work rate and the togetherness, and they were as a unit going backwards and forwards. They moved up the pitch, they were compact, they were difficult to break down. Chelsea found it very, very hard to make any gaps, to pull the Ipswich defence out of position. Listen, if they play like that, they'll be okay, but they haven't played like that often enough, especially not here at home. Having drawn 5 and lost 4 of the previous 9 at home, that's a big, big win for them, because as I said in commentary, they've got some really difficult games coming up. But the performance at Arsenal, granted it was a 1-0 defeat, but the performance and the victory tonight, you'll see what that does for the team, the confidence that brings to this team.
The noise here, Kelly, is because Christian Walton, in his first Premier League appearance since the opening day of the season when Ipswich lost here 2-0 against Liverpool, he's kept a clean sheet tonight. And now away to our left-hand side as the players do a half lap of honour. He's gone to the Sir Bobby Robson stand and done those kind of famous Jurgen Klopp fist pumps, low, mid-rift height, but fist pumping, and the crowd responding to that. They know how big tonight is, and he's been a part of that. He hasn't had a lot of important moments necessarily in this game, but what he has done is stood his ground, made the crucial saves when he had to, one in the first half when he tipped it onto the crossbar, and it's he deserves the plaudits he's going to get, as do the Ipswich Town players tonight.